Pause. Under his Sigma power chat night. Atriarch, we're still waiting for wedding invite. Atriarch, though he's a boomer, he is still hip. All of Twitch knows he got that drip. Catch all his video as a YouTube vlog. Atriarch, pause. A-T-R-O-C, Atriarch.
Come on! Yes! Yes! It's fixed! Yes! Oh, we're so back! That wasn't even that hard to fix. Oh, I was worried I was about to get hit with a fucking 2-hour tech support whammy right on my first stream back. Hello! Good to see you. Let me turn on the air here as it is quite hot here in the Americas. Unlike the Japans, where I just spent a formative week learning the ins and outs of the entire culture. If anything, I'm basically Japanese myself at this point. I know the highs and the lows. I know the ins and the outs. Let me turn on this. Babe! 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 Oh, Lord. How many deer did I kill in Nara? Great question. Great first question. I didn't kill any deer. I did punch a lot of deer. Okay, I don't kill them. I just hurt them to send a message. Okay, so bam, pop, pow, couple of these. But again, they would run away from me at that point. That's not what I heard. Well, you can't trust everything you hear from the fucking Prime Minister of Japan. I'll tell you that. Takaichi lies. Okay, she lies. When she said she saw me get off the plane and immediately kick a deer straight in the gut. A-Truck is the real one punch man. He's live early. Japan changed him. Bro, it's about to be earlier. It's about to be earlier. My whole life is flipped around. First of all, I'm jet lagged all to hell. I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning and I started grinding. And that's what you have to do in this economy, okay? You have to wake up early. You have to rise before the sun, and you have to start grinding. Obviously, I did 4 hours of sports betting. 4 hours of FanDuel, 4 hours of DraftKings. I got that out right in the morning. It leaves you time for the rest of your day. They learned that in Japan. What happened to the walk around stream? We did it on the Patreon of Lemonade Stand, I'll be honest with you, because I don't know how to do the fucking tech. So our producer did it. Zushery, thank you for the 30 months. 56 months, I'm sorry. Large Lean, thank you for the 33 months. 33 months like that game that's gonna lose to Silksong. Bro, I got some bad news for Silksong enjoyers. We'll cover it, but I got some bad news if you're a big Silksong needs the award to feel happy person. I don't know how to tell you this. Is not, the odds are slim. Slim, bro. I got 113 hours in that game. I got quite a few myself. I mean, I did a no hit lost lace again. If you're wondering if Unk's washed, I'll just let you know he's not. Okay, you can just write that. Unk's not washed. Fucking second place Hitman tournament, no hit lost lace. It's just like, not to brag, but like I just feel like I feel like this Unk is, if anything, cleaner than ever. Black Ops 7 for Game of the Year, I can feel it. Okay, I'm no Call of Duty guy. I'll never pretend to be a Call of Duty guy unless it'll help me in a conversation, in which case I'll tell you, I fucking love Call of Duty. Honestly, my favorite part of Call of Duty, the zombies. That's what I used to grow up doing with all my friends, you know? I feel like the zombies is the best part. And then, you know, I really think the story and the main campaign kind of fell off since like Modern Warfare. You know? I really think like those were the peak, but obviously it's still pretty fun. That's what I would say if I was trying to fake it in a conversation with a Call of Duty fan. But performative Gen Z. But I don't give a shit about Call of Duty. But I've heard that the new one is trash. I heard Black Ops 7, which by the way, we're at 7? Is washed. It's doggy dog. It's slop. People are saying AI slop. Bro, Arc Raiders is doing just fine. It has to be a genuinely bad game. It can't just be the AI. It's not like some massive social movement against it. It's got to be the game's trash. Hey, babe. My air conditioner. Oh, never mind. I found it. Bro, yelling at my wife to find a remote that was literally right in the spot it's supposed to be on the wall. Babe! Where's the remote? It's like literally right there, exactly where it's supposed to be, exactly where it was from the beginning. Stop making fun of my stomps. I lost weight in Japan, as all Americans do, because there's not enough burger. Fucking backwards ass country, bro. Couldn't even find a single burger. Not one, dude. Not one. I don't know how they survive out there. Ain't the food cheaper? Just order more? That's actually a damn true. Bro, going from Los Angeles to Japan to buy food, it feels like I don't even have a comparison. It feels like I've discovered a fucking oil well and I've become a millionaire. It's crazy. It's like literally all food is 3 times cheaper. I'm not exaggerating. 3 times. A meal that would cost like $24 is like $8. It's insane. And that's tourist prices too. You think I'm eating where tourists eat? Excuse me. Sumimasen. Excuse me. I'm not a tourist, okay? I'm not a fucking tourist. I eat at authentic places, okay? Authentic fucking places. You ever heard of a little place called Subway? I got a delicious sandwich there. It was uniquely crafted by a Japanese artisan. Okay? You ever heard about KFC? It's better in Japan. What happened to the IRL stream? We did an IRL walk and talk podcast on the Patreon, but I did not IRL stream because I could not get the tech figured out. Sue me. Okay? Literally go to court and sue me. I hired a lawyer for this purpose. Couldn't fix it. But we did do a good amount of stuff. And also, you know what? I got a little vacation. I got a little week with my wife. And then I still did 3 fucking podcasts in a week, so it was fun. I had a good time. It was interesting. And plus, you know, Connor showed us around. Connor was a very nice host. Despite his apartment being literally the filthiest apartment I've ever seen since I don't know. Since I went over to Asmongold to get my political opinions. Outside of that, he was like an incredible host, and I really appreciate that. He actually did take us to some really good local spots, and I don't know, I had a good time. I feel very refreshed, rejuvenated. Also, I think my sleep schedule was so fucked up that Japan the time zone was so different, and my sleep schedule was so fucked up that it lined up perfectly. Because every night in Japan, I went to bed on time and woke up in the early morning and worked out and had a full day. I literally had a full week of like perfect sleep. I've never had that in my life. I had a full week of like incredible sleep, and I worked out every day, and there was a spa in the hotel, so shit was great. Shit was gas. So I'm back now, and I might even be okay. I did wake up at 2 a.m. this morning, which is weak, but I went to bed at 10, which is like early for me. So, okay. Couple things we got to talk about before we get into all the news and everything. And the first one is like, what's the fucking point? What's the fucking point, chat? Why am I doing it? Why does this matter? Gumayushi left T1. What's the point? Why do we bother? Why do we go to work or school or jobs or fucking stream or make video. Why nothing matters? Guma's not on T1 anymore? It just doesn't fucking, if there's no such thing as true love, bro. There's no such thing as fucking loyalty. There's no such thing as, it's just crazy, dude. Guma off of T1? What is the fucking point? Doran resigned? Dude, you can't, when you type it, it's either resigned or resigned, which are two opposite meanings. Okay, so you need to be more fucking careful with your words. But honestly, either one makes me sad. Because I don't like Doran that much, bro. I don't like Doran that much. So, I don't know. I guess all good things must come to an end. If that's not life, I don't know what fuck it is, dude. If it's not the sweetness with the sour, the highs with the lows. You can't go straight from the world championship 3 back-to-back to losing Guma. What is that? That really hits you for a tumble. HLE's just building old T1. Yeah, but they're missing the one key ingredient. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There is a goat. He does walk among us. Armo Flame, thank you for the 30 months. Everybody, thank you for the subs. I know I've been gone for a damn goddamn week. I know it. I believe it. Arab Man, thank you for the gifted. Kubar, thank you for the 5 months. I'm glad to have my damn microphone back. You'd think that Connor Dog voice actor would have a microphone more suited to my palate, but it wasn't. It made me sound very tinny and nasally. Okay. So I've decided I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to get the Pirate Software mic. I need to go deeper, bro. I want people to think I'm tough and strong. I don't want to sound like I'm fucking nasally. I want to sound like, hey, and this is why the economy is in real fucking trouble. Okay, guys? And it's time to fucking shape up. I want that. I'm going to start taking TRT. I'm not kidding, bro. We need to make some changes around here. We need to make some fucking changes around here. Then Trump would finally listen to you. Trump listens to me all the damn time, bro. I said 50-year mortgage, 3 days later, 50-year mortgage. 50-month mortgage, I'm sorry. No, 50-year. 50-year. Sorry, it was so shocking to me, the 50-year mortgage. I was like, I couldn't be right. RFK has gotten to you? RFK has gotten to me? Bro, RFK... RFK didn't get to me, bro. RFK didn't get to me. He made my mom feel bad about all the Tylenol she ate, but that's not me. I don't feel bad. She feels bad. H-Truck, I know you have a full docket today, but please include a scrandle. Possibly. We have a lot to talk about. The thing I want to talk about first, because I think it's more fun, you know, we always have news, and it's like, oh, God, heavy. I want to talk about the Gabe Cube, the Steam machine. I want to watch their video. I want to talk about what that means. I think it's very interesting. But I'll vibe with the chat a little bit longer. Kill one, fuck one, marry one. Pokemon CSGO crypto. You guys had a week to cook up good chat messages. You had a full calendar week to cook up good, thought-provoking chat messages, and this is what you come back with? Kill, fuck, marry, Pokemon CSGO crypto? Jack Hale. Obviously, I'm marrying Pokemon. I'm killing CSGO, and I'm fucking crypto. And it's not close. Okay? Not close. So wrong or so damn right. You let me out the kitchen and everybody getting cooked. I'm sorry. Is this a response to my comment about the chat messages? Are you that confident in your chat messages that if I were to let you out of the proverbial kitchen, that everyone here would get cooked? I don't believe it. I think that's the height of arrogance. What is your chat history? Your chat history is Jesus Christ, my breakables. No, stomp, stomp, stomp. Because I'm stomping around. Then you said, not enough burger. Only glizzies, huh? And now you're talking about how your chat messages are so good that no one else can fucking. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It doesn't track to me. Graham Plattner. We're supposed to interview him today. He wasn't quite double booked, but I had a very short window for between my interview and when he was supposed to play Helldivers with Trihex or something. So we moved it. We moved it because it was gonna be very, very it was gonna be very limited. Who the fuck is Trihex? He's a streamer. I mean, I know Trihex from back in the day. But they were playing Helldivers, and it's like, well, okay, if I only have like 15, 20 minutes for questions, and so we just moved it. We're gonna have it probably later this week. Dude, it's actually so crazy. So Trihex is the emote tryhard, but AutoMod automatically filters it because people use it primarily for racist reasons, which sucks. I'm allowing it right now. I'm hitting allow, but it's auto filtering all your messages, which is crazy. It's insane, dude. But it's funny because it's a global emote. So a global emote being automatically filtered by Twitch's own filter. That's crazy. They've reached a fucking problem. How much Chinese did Aiden teach you? How do you know about that? Fucking stupid ass, dumbass Aiden. The entire fucking trip kept saying, can a white boy speak Chinese? But we're in Japan. He's not doing it in a racist way, but like if you were listening from the outside, it would seem racist. He was just doing it because we're talking about China. But he kept saying, and then he kept practicing his Chinese. It was crazy. It was fucking crazy. And I was getting really annoyed. He is getting really annoyed. I can't read the room, Aiden. Yeah, he should. He should read the room. He should read the room. How come every time I go, here's a question I got. Every time I go on a trip with Aiden, I see his hog. Someone riddle me that. Someone riddle me that. Fucking New Zealand, Copenhagen, fucking Japan. The guy's a fucking exhibitionist. He's an exhibitionist. Why are you on hog watch? Oh, in this case it was a spa, so it's a little more acceptable, but I'm noticing a pattern, really. Lord Blep, thank you for the 6 months. Bo the Hobo, thank you for the 72 months. Bo the Hobo, a salute to you. 72 months of absolute slop. Not one good stream in there, and you're still waiting, and I appreciate that. We'll get there one day, probably year 7. Year 6, though. Holy shit, you are literally a day one. You're literally a day. I didn't even know I streamed for 72 months. Is that really 6 years? Oh, 24, 36, 48. Holy shit. That is crazy. 6 years. That is fucking crazy, bro. That's got to be one of my longest subs there is. Bro, what was your favorite moment? he just responded. He said, I like the Paper Mario streams, and that's about it. It's like 4 streams in 6 years. You've given me 72-month subs, and I've done 4 streams that you liked, kind of, in 6 years. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good ratio for me, to be honest. To be honest, that's a pretty good ratio for me. I should be mad, but honestly, I should be glad. You've really given me a great benefit of the doubt. Mr. Chicken, thank you for the 60 months. Thank you for the 60. Silios, 75, thank you for the 61. A lot of long-time subs today. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I know, it's I've been gone for a week, so. How many masterpieces does Scorsese need? So fucking true. So fucking true. Wait, you've actually said it all. How many masterpieces does Scorsese need, bro? You don't got to keep putting out. You don't need to put out Goodfellas 2. Do you know what I'm saying? You already did it. You did one. Scumble, thank you for the prime. The greed is sickening. Big A, is it true you're naming your daughter after Doug Doug? Now, where are you hearing this? Where did this come out? Where are you hearing this? Dexerto? Where the hell are we talking about? Is this on Patreon? Did we talk about this? I don't remember this. We had a bet. This is all too personal, honestly. This is all too personal. Well, we were out drinking, and I was talking about how I might want to have kids, you know, in the future, ideally the near future. And then Doug said, if you have a kid, if your kid is conceived tonight, you have to name it Doug Gina. We had a bet. And he like paid for the next round or whatever. It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm obviously not going to name my kid Doug Gina. Or maybe it's Doug Gina. I was drunk, bro. Why would you agree to that? Well, I've never had sex, so I'm not worried. You guys, it's an easy bet for me to make because I'm a lifelong virgin focused on my work. Okay. So don't worry. You guys are worried too much. Thank God I was terrified. Yeah. Don't be. Yeah. Sex is woke. Many people are saying this. Many people are saying that sex is woke. Yo, Big A, you taught me that school is dog at making reading fun, but it's kind of hype. I saw you reading When Everyone Knows That Everyone Knows. I got it. It slaps, and I want to hear your thoughts. Sheesh, thank you for the bits. I'm glad. I think that book is very, very interesting, but very, very padded. So I don't know if I would hyper recommend it. I think the first third's incredible, and then he's kind of like stretching it out to fit a full book. I recommend fiction. I recommend Red Rising or whatever if you're trying to get into reading. I think you can have a lot of fun. I think you can have a lot of fun. Isn't that every book? Such a crazy thing to say. Isn't every book ever written just a first, third, and then padded to fill time? What an incredible fucking take. That's so wild. That's so incorrect, I think. That's every TikTok for me. You think every TikTok, the real TikTok is in the first 3 seconds and the next 6 seconds are wasted time? That low-key might be true. That's why I just never stop scrolling. I feel like if the TikTok was interesting, it would have hooked me in the first picosecond. So I just I get the vibe of the TikTok by scrolling, and I never stop. Just like a fun little habit of mine. Hey, that's why I watch only the first third of your streams. Bro, it's the opposite for my streams. The first third, it's like I pack all the filler in the first third. The first third's the worst part. You should show up later. Bro, the first third, I'm just fucking yapping. It's because I like the vibe. It's got to feel, bro, it's got to feel like there's human beings in this fucking chat, or what's the point? I'm not fucking speaking to a camera. I have to talk to hear people talk back and say some stupid shit so I know there's human beings in here. You are robots? Well, that's just proof that AI is not smart enough yet. If you guys are all robots, then the AI bubble is real, bro. It's fucking the bots are dumb. Average One Piece enjoyer only here for the filler. What you don't understand is that One Piece isn't about filler or not filler. It's just about the journey. It's about really getting to know these characters and enjoying the time you spend with them across hundreds of episodes. It's not, I don't do it for the arcs of the story. I do it as like a comforting place to come back to again and again that reminds me of a hopeful world. Anyway, does that make sense? Never watched the fucking episode. It's for fucking. Never watched a fucking episode, dude. Bro went to Japan and started saying Luffy properly. I guess I did, dude. Honestly, didn't see a lot of One Piece stuff in Japan. I'll be fucking for real. What did I see? I don't know. Honestly, there was a lot of anime shit everywhere, to be honest. But I didn't see too many One Piece. I saw a lot of Otani, plenty of Otani. We talked to this Japanese guy, and he said there are 3 things you can never discuss with a Japanese person, or they don't like to discuss. And it's like, number 1, politics. Nobody ever wants to talk politics with a stranger. They're very, 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 very tight-lipped about it. They don't want to talk about it. Number 2 is religion. Can't talk about religion. You know, everyone's got their own different belief systems. You can't talk about it. Number 3 is baseball. You can't discuss different Japanese baseball teams because people will fucking hate you for one of your support. So that's what I was told. I tried it out on an Uber driver and he agreed. He laughed and agreed. He said, I can't speak on either of those. But apparently everyone can discuss Otani because he's universally beloved across Japan. So that is a uniter. Those first 2 are social rules literally everywhere. Nah, not really. Not really. I feel like you can discuss politics in America fucking free. People do it all the damn time. Too much. Big A, you taught me that it's... Oh, sorry. Not you. It was the other one. Thank you, by the way. Pretty Bird for the Prime. Pineapple Fear, thank you for the 37 months. I Wanna XD, thank you for the 8 months. Lil Runky, thank you for the 11 months. Have you looked at the BTC chart lately? Isn't Bitcoin just fucking plummeting? Isn't Bitcoin down? And sugar, we're going down swinging. I'll be your number 1 with a bullet. Bitcoin, possibly the worst performing major asset year to date. What, 1% gain, maybe? Is that correct? Millennial ass song. Dude, it's like when people were like, Northern Lion, he's bald. Atrioc, he's millennial. Yeah, I'm not hiding it, bro. I'm not hiding it. You think I'm fucking hiding that I'm millennial? Think I've kept it a secret this whole time? I'm as fucking millennial as it gets. I am the prototypical millennial. There's no more common millennial than my age, my gender in all of America. I'm not even kidding. It is the single most common person, honestly. Okay, buddy, don't break an arm jerking yourself off there. What? First of all, needlessly crass. Second of all, how is me saying a stat jerking myself off? To say that implies that you think being millennial is extra cool. Honestly, you're giving me credence. If I go, I'm millennial, you go, wow, quit complimenting yourself. What does that say about you? What does that say about you? Hey, Big A, I usually watch on YouTube. I keep hitting spacebar. Remember, this is live. Deshant, it's so cool that you do that. I'm going to tell you a unique fact about the live stream experience is that every single stream, I get somebody saying the exact same thing as you. I had to bust your bubble, but you are not a unique creature. It is a fact that people come from my much larger Big A Clips channel and they show up here and they say the same things every time. And they go, oh my God, I usually watch YouTube. How come I can't 2x speed? Oh my God, I usually watch YouTube. When are you going to talk about economics? Oh my God. And then they say the same. And I've heard it so many times. And so all I want someone to say is something original. Hey, big guy, I usually watch YouTube, but I can't even think of something. It's all been said. But I just something new would be great. What'd you do in Japan? I explored. Did some work, we did like 3 or 4 recordings in a week, which is pretty good. Ate some food with Sea Dog at some cool spots. Met some people. It was pretty good. Punched some deer. Started so I did this thing where I met Takaichi, the prime minister of Japan, and I told her, hey, what would be really fucking funny is if I talked to Xi Jinping. He's totally cool with it. Just make like a fun statement about how you'll defend Taiwan if they're invaded. And she's like, are you sure? Won't that start an international incident? And I was like, no, please do it. It'll be so funny. Xi Jinping's gonna get a kick out of it. It'll all work out. So I actually kicked off an international incident. Because I don't know if you've seen the clip, but if you haven't, it is heated up even since then. Like a third of all Chinese travelers to Japan just canceled their flights. So like it's this massive tourism hit to Japan. And then Japan is now going to like international bodies and saying we need to fucking de-escalate tensions. But then I think China just sent like not military boats. Couldn't have been military boats. China sends boats to the northern sea route between Japan and Russia. I think they just put boats there. Oh, the Senkaku Islands. Yeah, never mind. The ones that are Russian owned. Yeah, the Chinese Coast Guard just put Coast Guard vessels. This shit's heating up, bro. This shit's heating up. It's kind of crazy. It was the biggest news when I was there, and it's still heating up. And Takaichi didn't back down, so China's like, I don't know, it's crazy. Pro Taco, thank you for the 8 months. Korea's gonna third party. Like it's fucking battle royale. I'm doing a research essay on Japan, Korea, and China having stronger economic ties, despite growing security risk. And Takaichi single-handedly ruined it for me this week. Ruined it for you. You are worried about this because it messes with your paper. You're worried that Japan and China might kick off World War III, and then the problem would be that it would require you to spend 5 more minutes writing for your paper? Yeah, that is tough. You know what? If you let Takaichi know, she might back down. High key. I think she's pretty understanding on that kind of stuff. She might help. Would mess with the word count. Dude, on that note, I was reminded at how widespread and pervasive AI cheating has become, because the professor we talked to at the university in Japan was like, yeah, all my students just cheat. Like most of the papers I get are ChatGPT or AI. And it's like, damn, bro, that's just everywhere. That's just fucking everywhere. It is wild. It is fucking wild. If we start working on the song now, we can still stop it at the power of releasing a charity single. Oh, dude, that reminds me. I got to talk about, well, I'll do that later. Hey, Big A, do you think getting an MBA and going into business is too much of a volatile future with the threat of AI? I noticed a lot of friends changing majors. No, I think an MBA is risky in general, AI or no, just because it's very, very, very fucking expensive. But I wouldn't be worried about AI as like a. It's too risky to be in that major. I wouldn't be worried about any individual job except for like, I mean, there's a few, but not all of them. Hey, so glad I got my reading comprehension skills before ChatGPT came out so I can dunk on all the people younger than me when I graduate college. Hashtag blessed. Dude, people who are wishing for the downfall of the youth so they have a slight advantage in job searching in 15 years is such a funny. I just hope everybody in the whole society gets illiterate so that I have a slight advantage. It's like, I'm pretty sure the society that's going to exist when everyone's brain is Swiss cheese is not going to be a good one, regardless of whether or not you can find a job. I think we should, I'm going to say that's bad. All right, I'm going to be the brave one and say that's bad. I think we need people's brains to be not Swiss cheese. At least less than they are now. Gen Z got out on top. Fuck Gen A. I'll kick the fuck out that ladder. Dude, the hatred Gen Z have for Gen A is honestly off-putting. It's off. You guys, it's weird. It's fucking weird. You guys are so... It like shit rolls downhill or something. I don't know. Gen A is too young for what you guys are saying about them. It's Kendrick Lamar hater energy, bro. You guys, says the millennial. What do you mean says the millennial? Millennials got beef with boomers. That's it. Millennials did not kick the fucking ladder down on Gen Z. We just lose. We just lose, dude. By the time millennials and Gen Z had any war, Gen Z already was too online to fight. Hey, people say not yet, and that's fair. Wait till we get the reins, okay? Then there'll be problems. But right now, millennials are nobody's enemy, bro. I promise you that. Millennials got no enemies right now. Give us 15 years, and it's gonna be a problem. But we got no enemies, okay? But fucking Gen Z is horrible to alpha. These little fucking iPad kids. I can't believe it. When will the last boomer be alive? Oh, probably for fucking ever, dude. I don't know. The last boomer's gonna be alive in like 2050, and they're gonna be president. Whatever the oldest last boomer is, will be president on their fucking deathbed. I'm going to ask this question, AI. When will the last boomer be alive? The last baby boomer will likely be alive in the 2080s. Oh, God. How is that possible? How is that possible? How is that? The last, no, this is not even, it's from the Washington Post. Here's how much longer each generation will be sticking around. Wait, let's look at this, because this is not just AI. What am I looking at? I mean, the fall off will be incredible, but okay. Projection. How long will the oldest person alive live? Boomer, 2088 at the age of 124. That's so crazy, bro. That's so crazy. You guys are saying it like nobody ever will live that long. Maybe one. All it needs is one person. All it needs is one. You're not saying every boomer. And this one person that's left is going to be our fucking president. It's going to be Biden on his fucking 15th term. Still running against Trump. Notice Gen Z never dies. It literally says, wait. Oh, no, you're not on here. Yeah, you're right. Oh, you can't die if you never truly lived. You know what I'm saying? The last millennial dies 2132. That's going to be me, bro. That's going to be me. I'm making it to 2100s. 2088. That's so depressing. Bro, we're going to have greatest gen still alive in 2046? They should have been gone yesterday. I'm sorry. I don't even want to think about that. I was hoping boomers would be gone by the 2030s and we would just move on, bro. This is crazy. This is unreal. How old is the current oldest person? Current oldest living person. Ethel Carterham from the UK is 116 years old. This isn't her picture. This is just the average woman in the UK. She's way older than this. She's way older than this. She's a UK 10. She probably smoked 2 packs a day doing that as well. I don't think so, bro. I don't think you make it to 116 smoking 2 packs a day. I know there's always the stories of like, oh yeah, my grandpa smoked 2 packs a day and fucking drink like 8 bottles and he lived to be 115. But I don't know. Happiest UK patriot? Yeah, I mean, the older you are in the UK and America, the happier you probably are because it all worked out. Sentinel Nexus, thank you for the 30 months. JC, thank you for the prime. Sentux, thank you for the tier 1. Tohan41K, thank you for the 2 months. Royale with Cheese, thank you for the 53 months. Pink Naciel, thank you for the prime. Mastique, thank you for the prime. Rick Toff, thank you for the gifted. My granddad drank kerosene until 90. Well, there's certainly different strokes for different folks. I've never heard that as a health food, but I'm no doctor. Dude, this reminds me, this is like 2007, so pardon the language, but we were in a Ventrilo server with people of all different races. I'm just going to say this. We were boys. We would play games. We would play Left 4 Dead. We would play StarCraft. And all the boys would talk shit to each other and use a little bit of racial humor, okay? And there was this Asian guy who would make fun of me all the time. And his way of making fun of white people is he would say, we drink gasoline and watch NASCAR. You know, he'd go, glug, 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 drinking up some gasoline. Yeah. He would, what else he would say? He would say like, fuck, I don't, like, what's the different types of gasoline? He'd be like, you prefer the, you prefer leaded or unleaded? You like diesel? Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was a hoot, dude. It was a good time. And then I would say 40 slurs. Kidding. Whoa, Jesus Christ. Whoa, relax. No, he was very funny, that guy. Dude, one time, so that guy, we were friends on Ventrilo. We played games for years and years and years, but never actually met up in person because he was just a friend of a friend. You know, he lived in the same area as us, but I never actually met him. And then once we had this, I don't know, birthday party, bachelor party or something. And I finally met him and we were such gaming rivals that it was like everyone was having fun playing 8-player Captain Falcon Shots Smash Bros. And then we started like only fighting each other in the corner of the fucking map of Smash Bros. And then we kept playing and then everyone else left to do other things. And then we just kept playing 1v1 Smash Bros for like 14 hours, didn't do anything else at the party. Dude, and we got more and more silent and kept talking shit and like muttering and then just kept grinding this fucking game until like 4 a.m. Did you win? honestly, no. For the first like 8 hours, I was losing. This is why I kept saying, "Go again, go again, go again, play again, play again." And then I started winning. And then I did that till I felt like I could win like 5 in a row. And then I felt good. It was a grind era. Anyway, hey K Dunce, thank you for the 2 years. Almost 2 years. Poggies, love you, big anus. But just stop it at A, big A. Short for Atrioc, not anything else. That woman was born under President Taft, and the king was Elizabeth's grandfather, for some perspective. She was 30 when World War II started. That's crazy. That's crazy. She was 30 when World War II started. And you guys are going to be 30 when World War III starts. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of like a fun parallel. The line lines up. Pretty cool. Pretty sweet. Pretty exciting. All right, let's check this out. I want to talk about listen, in Japan we covered all the major news. Here we covered the Epstein stuff. There's a lot of news. But a lot of it's depressing, okay? There's chaos and there's unrest and there's revolutions and there's declining prices and there's stock market problems and whatever. But you know what's actually interesting and fun? Gaming news, okay? And Steam just announced actually fun bit of gaming news. The Steam machine. And I think this is going to upend the entire fucking gaming market, so I wanted to watch it. This happened while we were in Japan.
This is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere.
Well, we know this one.
We're pretty proud of it. People who own Steam Decks have been playing everywhere, and we couldn't be happier with the response we've heard from all of you.
Like I said, this is a real gateway drug of a product. In that, you know, my wife, Borat style, my wife, didn't really play any like non-mobile game until Animal Crossing. And when she played that, she became more of a quote unquote console gamer. And then recently she got a Steam Deck, and now she's like grinding through Heat 32 on Hades 2 and playing Blueprints and playing Expedition 33. And she's like an honest to God hardcore gamer. She's addicted to the Steam Deck. So, you know, W for her, but it did open up.
We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future.
She's more of a gamer than you are. Obviously, that's not true. I'm one of the world's great gamers. Okay, let's not beat around the bush here. I'm one of the world's all-time great gamers. However, I will say this. I'm defensive because when she was playing Hades 2, I would sit down on the couch next to her and I would help out when she was first starting. She'd be like, I'm stuck at this part. She'd pass me the controller and I would beat that part and I would feel like, feel like a man. I feel like a tough guy because like I'm just naturally good at games and I'd fucking help out and I'm like, let me step in. And then recently she was stuck on like, Heat 20 or something, doing hardcore upstairs runs in Hades 2, and she passed me the controller, and I got fucking rocked. I got fucking rocked, and she's like, oh. And then she took the controller back, and then she just did a different build and beat it. Straight up. She's just straight up better than me in Hades 2 right now, because she's been playing it all the time. And it's like, what the hell? What is happening in this household? What the hell is happening in this household, bro? I'm gonna have to switch to a Hitman-only household to stay relevant.
Of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future of Steam hardware. Today, we're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with power.
You do the iPhone, and it's all one thing. It's all, it's all the Gabe machine, and it fits every fucking thing in one, and you just wear it on your body, and you never stop gaming.
Powerful PC gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam, and all are shipping in early 2026. Let's start with this one.
A controller.
This is the new Steam controller. The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips, so you can play wherever.
So I've seen this. It looks kind of ugly. I'm sorry. It reminds me of like the original Duke of the Xbox, the original Xbox. It looks chunky. I don't know. I'm sure it feels nice. And I'm sure those little trackpads are useful, but they are off-putting, I'll be honest with you.
However you want. Just like with Steam Deck, we want you to be able to play any game with your Steam controller, even games never built with a controller in mind.
Oh.
It has all the great features from Steam Deck, like trackpads, gyro, and back buttons, all in a comfortable form factor.
That's why.
Its next-generation magnetic thumbsticks let you play with improved responsiveness and longevity. We've put capacitive touch sensors on the thumbsticks and now on the back of the controller too, so you can enable precision gyro aiming with the touch of your
Dude, there is some part of me that just wants to take all these controllers and every controller and throw it into a meat grinder. And then pass out keyboards and mice and say, you have to use these. I'm sorry, it's not your choice. That is like, there is a part of me that wants to do that, okay? Because I don't like controllers as much as I like keyboard and mouse. And I know that I'm on the losing side of history. I just don't know how to say. I know that I'm on the losing side of history. I know that eventually the controller people will win. They always win. There's more of them. But I like mouse and keyboard.
thumb or your pinky if you're feeling fancy. Play for way too long with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that allows for over 35 hours of playtime. With Steam Controller, we want to make charge.
For Silk Song, you played mouse and keyboard? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Smash on keyboard is hell. Yeah, I mean, I do play Smash with the controller. That's true. But that's a Nintendo console. It's different.
And wireless pairing, something that's actually easy. That's why we created the Puck. The Puck is a combination wireless adapter and magnetic charger included with every Steam controller. Snap it on to charge. Once you're charged up, snap it off again. You can play over Bluetooth or a wired connection too.
That's kind of cool.
The new Steam controller works with any device running Steam or Steam Link, whether it's a PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam Machine.
God damn!
Oh, this is the new Steam Machine.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. The Steam Machine.
Steam
AKA
Machine is a powerful.
the Gabe Cube. This is actually a really big announcement. This is like a kind of an earth-shaking new entry into the console wars that haven't been shaken up in a while. They're playing it off like, oh, here's our cute little thing, but this is like a really big move by Valve into an area that they have not competed in yet. And it's got everyone else on notice.
Full gaming PC in a small but mighty package, designed for your games on the big screen. It's quiet too, which is crazy since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck, powered by a discrete, semi-custom AMD G.
All right, so it is what they say. It's more powerful than a Steam Deck, obviously 6 times, but it is slightly weaker than, I'm bad at the Xbox console names, but Series X is the good one, right? Series S is the bad one. It's better than Series S, weaker than Series X, and weaker than PS5, but slightly. You know, it's like right around this Series X PS5 level.
CPU, enabling 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with FSR. Steam Machine runs SteamOS made for a bigger screen, built for gaming in your living room, your office, or wherever you play, with the rest of your PC accessories.
Is it woke? That is the big question, right? That is the big question. Is it woke?
Steam Machine borrows some great features from Steam Deck, like lightning fast sleep and wake, an SD card slot to easily expand your storage, and brings some new tricks of its own, like a customizable LED strip, which can show different system functionalities,
Okay.
or your own light show.
Okay.
Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want, and it works with all your favorite desktop and gaming accessories. Steam Machine is designed to work hand in hand with the Steam controller, with the low latency, wireless connectivity of the Steam controller puck built right in.
That is
and it's
just
great
really
for
cool.
streaming your games to your phone.
But the big question on that, obviously they said on social media, yeah, it's your PC. We're not going to tell you what to do with it. You can install what you want. But the real fucking question is, will it be able to play like League of Legends? Because it's Steam OS. So you can't like it's not gonna high-end games. But it can't play like it can't play anything that has its own like launcher. You can install Windows to do that. Can you install Windows on a Steam machine? You have to jailbreak it or something, right? I don't think it's gonna let you do that. Will it? They said you explicitly can't. It can explicitly play like a Riot launched League of Legends. It's a PC. Yeah, but it's a PC with Steam OS on Linux, right? So let me confirm. Can you play League of Legends on Steam machine? Like, can you do it on Steam Deck right now? People are saying you can't do it, by the way, on our Steam, and you guys are all saying confidently you can. People are saying if you try to virtual machine, League detects you're using a virtual machine and doesn't launch. So you guys are all confidently wrong, I think. League won't. You swap OS, not a virtual machine. Can you do it now with the Steam Deck? Okay, I'm looking again, and it's saying Valve Steam Machine can't run some of those popular games. So you can't do like anything that has the kernel level anti-cheat stuff. You can dual boot Windows and Linux. Interesting. Let me see. What does this guy say? If you install anything with, you can't do it natively on the OS, but you can run it on the hardware. People are being potato thinking someone doesn't really want to do that. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking it's not going to be as simple as people say. Because I remember I tried to do this with I had a tablet. I had one of those new tablets, and I tried to install the it was like a Windows tablet, but it was not on the same like architecture or something. And so no matter what, it couldn't run TFT. Did you ask it nicely? Yeah, I tried to ask it nicely. I think a market they're trying to target is being a more budget-friendly work PC that runs Linux and most workflow apps. I don't think this is a work PC at all. That's not a market no, this is a gaming PC. 99% of people buying a Steam machine are going to use it for gaming and gaming only. It's going to be a console competitor. That's the vast majority of the buyers. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's not going to be used for work. That 99% of buyers will be buying it as a console competitor to plug and play on their couch for their TV. But it can have PC capabilities. Windows will run like shit on Steam Deck. Steam machine should be better, but Windows will have worse performance in games. I'm just skeptical that this is going to be like an easy solution to do that stuff. I think it's more it's like the incompatibility with that as an option, if it sells well enough, is going to force more people into the Steam ecosystem. Honestly, it's not going to be like people can be like, just use their Steam PC to play whatever. It's going to be like everyone is going to have to start getting on Steam or including themselves in Steam to run easily on the popular console. That's way more likely than everyone just dual booting. I think that's just a really chat thing to say. But it's not correct in like the way the market's going to actually play. Highly skeptical this hardware is already outdated and the pricing will be more than console with worse performance. Where the hell did you get the pricing will be more than console? Where the hell did you get that? My understanding is they've cut quite a few corners to optimize for low cost. They haven't announced the price yet, but I think they're going to try and be really competitive with this price. Linus said so. Is this everyone just quoting Linus' video at me? Is that what they're doing? Does Linus know the price or is he speculating? Because because I saw, I would say, some pretty educated speculation that it would be priced competitively to take market share from consoles, not he met with some dev team. Yeah, it's all speculation, but you'd have to assume with the power level being lower that it's going to try to take market share. That it's going to, like, I think Valve knows what they're doing with this. I don't think this is like let's watch the video. Let's watch the video. But I don't think this is like a goofy little project, bro. I think this is like a real muscular shove into the last area of gaming they don't have control over. I think they're taking. I think this is a powerful step. It's a PC, bro. People saying it's a PC are dumb as fuck. Because the difference between a console, consoles are PCs, basically. Okay? It's not about what it is. It's about what problem it solves. A console solves the problem for the majority of gamers of plug and play, controller-based gaming on a couch. That is what it is solving. It's not about whether it's a PC or it's not. It has a gaming OS and they want a plug and play solution. That's what this is. So it is a console competitor. It's not just a PC. Yeah, I mean, chat is so fucking dumb. There's some really dumb people in here. I think they're the. This is a console competitor. This is what it is. Okay, Valve would like to compete with consoles, so they are creating a solution for the majority of gamers who don't like the difficult parts of PC gaming, which is keyboard and mouse, installing things, understanding how PCs work. They don't like any of that. So they created the Steam OS to make it very functional and easy. And they have a plug and play, plug in controller solution. That is what they're doing. If you think otherwise, you are wrong. I don't know how to tell you. That is what 99% of buyers will use it for. That is what it is about. That's why it exists. Okay? And so it is like a business move on their part to get out from under Windows' thumb. Look, I'll give you a little backstory because we'll watch the rest of this, but there's a little backstory. Let me give you a little backstory because I think you should know this part. Okay? 2012. Gabe Newell says, I think Windows 8 is a catastrophe for everyone in the PC space. This is when Microsoft is at the height of their power. 2012. Xbox 360 is dominating the console space. Windows 8 is completely locked down gaming. There is no competitor in gaming for PC gaming. Okay? Everything is on that. Gabe Newell sees this coming and realizes long-term, if they don't find a way outside of Windows' thumb, then they're always going to have to, kowtow to them. So they begin a plan in 2012. Again, by the way, this is the height of Microsoft power. Xbox 360 is at its peak. This thing had red rings of death on 50% of consoles and still won the war. This is a great console. This was dominant. They had incredible games. They were well marketed. They were the lower cost product, and they got out early. They were the early release. These are all the big things to win a console generation, by the way. PS3 outsold it by the end, but the attach rate of Xbox 360 was really high. It was a very successful console, okay? And so, when you begin this war of SteamOS versus Windows. Now, this is in 2012. This shit didn't work at first. They launched the Steam machine in 2013. Not launched, but they announced it. They started doing they had PC Gamer testing this shit in 2013. 2013. They've been talking about it. They've been showing consoles. And it was part of their plan to create a new OS outside of Windows so they could completely break from Microsoft's monopoly. So they could have total ownership of the platform, the game, the customers, okay? However, these things kind of sucked. The technology wasn't there to create a affordable, all-in-one box that played the games they want, did what they want, and could sell to customers. They weren't that good at the hardware. They hadn't figured it out, okay? So this thing was a flop. Like, all the early prototypes weren't well reviewed, and they ended up canceling it by 2018, okay? For like 5 years, they tried to make this shit work. They had some partners like Alienware and Asus who made these Steam machines. They didn't sell well. It didn't work, and they canceled it, okay? But they never stopped working on it in the back end. And finally, the SteamOS had a breakthrough with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck was actually successful. And that was their first thing of breaking out of Microsoft's monopoly. The SteamOS, their entirely run OS, people could buy a consumer product, play the games on it through Steam platform, and Microsoft didn't even touch any of it. It was a big breakthrough. And then they realized they got hungry. They got the fire in their eyes. And they realized they don't have to just take handhelds. They could take the whole damn market. Because there is one sickly gazelle in the console wars right now. Switch 2 is front of the pack, selling great. PS5, front of the pack, selling great. Healthy gazelles. You know who's in the back of the fucking pack? Limping. Fucking antlers broken. Fucking barely skirting by. It's the fucking Xbox. Okay? The Xbox is doing horribly. Sales are down 29% in this past year. They have been completely trunched by the PS5, and they've been trying all sorts of random haphazard things to try and regain some momentum, like this marketing campaign where everything's an Xbox, which kind of worked because the one bright spot for Xbox was Game Pass, but then they raised Game Pass prices 50%. So I think Steam is seeing an opportunity. They are seeing that the big duopoly of like mainline console games has one really weak gazelle at the end of the pack, and they're going to kill them and move in. I don't think PS5 is particularly threatened, although it is a problem that so many of their exclusives are on PC, and now because they're on PC, they can be on the Steam Deck. That's a problem. And Switch is not really threatened at all. But the big threat here is Xbox, who's about to be fucking slaughtered. Again, Xbox also had their own handheld, which launched at $999. They're just having a huge problem with prices. They're having a huge problem with exclusivity. They're having a huge problem with feeling behind the curve. And so Steam has been looking stronger than ever. So go back to this. So they launched this. They have their new console to rival Xbox and PlayStation. It is a console. Let's just be honest. This is a console. Call it a PC, call it you want, but it solves the problem of a console. And dude, I saw this headline. An increasingly delusional Microsoft desperately tries to tell everyone they're PCs and Xbox now. And it's just true. Dude, Microsoft seems increasingly fucking delusional. I mean, ever since, really, it's all been downhill since that original Xbox One announcement. Ever since that Xbox One announcement where they talked for 2 hours about how you can watch TV and the Kinect and shit, they've been steadily downhill. But now it's felt like they're like circling the drain. Like the momentum is totally gone. They're kind of spiraling. And Valve is coming in for the kill. This thing is going to be a threat, a real threat. Now there's like new rounds of console hardware coming. They're already pretty old, and this is weaker than them. So there is something to be said for that. But it's going to come out, I think, at a competitive price point and have the entire Steam library, a now polished Steam OS, and a catchy name, the Gabe Cube. I think it's a problem. Like, I actually think this is like the precursor to Xbox getting out of hardware. I think they might pivot to just being a software supplier and a cloud supplier on other people's hardware. I don't know. I think they'd be in real trouble at the rate their sales are going. Now, there have been leaks for Xbox's attempt. They're also working on their own. Look, they say things are forever changing as they prepare their own Xbox PC. So it's not like Xbox isn't doing something similar, but man, now that we're doing console PC hybrids, would you rather be Xbox or would you rather be Steam? Like, who's bringing more to the table? Like, do you think Steam can learn how to be a console faster than Xbox can learn how to be a PC? I think Steam's bringing massive library, storefront, connections, friends list. You know what I'm saying? They're bringing more to the table, I think, than Xbox is. But well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they're trying to turn into each other faster as possible. It's called Xbox Magnus, by the way. And what they're going for is powerful and expensive. So I do think that the Steam machine is going to be well positioned to do kind of what the Xbox 360 did, which is release first, release cheaper, get a big install base, and then win off of low cost in games rather than power and price. Especially given what we're in for an economy right now. I think a cheaper, affordable, all-purpose thing is going to be better than a powerful, expensive Xbox PC hybrid. Is it actually $1,500? Let's see. The Xbox Magnet's going to be pretty expensive. I think it'll cost more than $800. I don't think it needs to cost more than $1,200. I mean, nobody knows the price of either of these things, but I would estimate that it's going to be a lot more expensive than the Steam machine. And people are going to have to make that call. But what's interesting about the Steam machine is all they have to do is get an install base. Like, I think the Steam machine is going to be cheaper than you guys think. Because once they get an install base of Steam machine, Steam OS users, people that are on Steam, use Steam to buy games, use Steam for friends list, then all of a sudden they can open that up to other console creators. So they can have Asus make a high-end Steam machine or Alienware or whatever. They can make variants that are more expensive to play more expensive games or play higher-end settings games. But you're all on the Steam OS. The way it is for PC gamers where we can't switch to Epic Game Store or any other store because we've used Steam for so long, if they can get console gamers on that, then they're hooked forever. Then they've got them for fucking life. And they don't even need to be the one making the console. Making the console's not where the money is. It's the fucking store. So I guess from a business move perspective, this is a really smart killer blow from Gabe Newell to, after 10 plus years, strike back at Windows and Microsoft when they're finally weak. I think it's a smart move. I think it looks to be pretty strong for the moment. Now, people do really like Gabe Newell, you know, even no ethical billionaires people, they like him. But I do think it is a little crazy how much. I think this is a smart, well-reasoned, ruthless business move, and it's exciting. It's like it's cool, and for gamers, if you like Steam, I'm actually not so worried about them abusing this so much while Gabe is alive, because it looks like Gabe has found a way to enjoy his $500 million super yacht with a LAN cafe on it without pissing off all his customers, which is a true balance. And I'm impressed with that. But once he's gone, the next guy's going to want a more expensive yacht and will have to fuck over customers. So I'm worried about that in the long term. But for now, I guess I'm happy that Microsoft threw so many billions at trying to dominate gaming and cloud, and instead is probably going to lose them both. To me, that's very funny. I think it's very funny that Microsoft threw an absurd amount of money that no one else could spend, and is now getting their shit kicked in. I think that's nice, but obviously, you know, it just creates another threat with Valve down the road. But for now, I will celebrate it. And I'm excited about the Steam Machine launch. Let me also watch the end of this video. Let's see. Did you say, damn, look at those thighs, slay king slay? Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, all right. Sure. Sure. Fine. Steam Deck in his hands, bro. He knows.
Tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, or Steam Frame. Oh, yep. This is Steam Frame.
This I don't super care about. I think VR is just still not there yet, but it's cool.
Steam Frame is Valve's next generation VR hardware.
I guess I do like about it is that, you know, much like kicking Microsoft when they're down, it's also kicking Meta when they're down. Because at the end of the day, I think it's like, it's seeming more and more to me that the store front of Steam and the friends list of Steam are two nuclear bombs that no one else can match. And Valve can just attach more things to those things rather than no one else can recreate those things. So like if you're going to play VR games, even if for whatever reason Valve had worse hardware than the Meta Quest, or it was a worse price or whatever, they're going to win in the long term because that's where you want to buy your games. Like the Steam storefront is actually like an unassailable fortress. And that's if they had worse hardware. I think they have better hardware. But like I'm just saying that I think everyone's kind of waking up to that fact. And it's going to make them quite dominant in gaming in a way that I think the big tech companies thought they could just muscle around.
Stream all your Steam games, VR and non-VR alike, in this comfortable, lightweight, wireless VR headset. Steam Frame uses camera-based tracking.
And, you know, the big part of that is that Steam, you know, for all whatever faults you have with it, has made a truly competitive marketplace that has allowed indie devs to thrive. You can't argue that. Like more so than almost maybe any storefront for gaming ever, indie devs can make serious money and get discoverability on Steam. And so, you know, if you flash back 10 years, that doesn't matter so much because there's not that many indie games. But the indie game market has only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and more powerful. And now the result is it's kind of like how YouTube is slowly beating Netflix, bro. It's because YouTube has created the space, the competitive marketplace, for everyone to make their own content. And eventually that amount of content is getting big enough and more polished enough to take all this time away from Netflix. And I think it's happening with Steam and all these other walled gardens. Steam just has such an overwhelming amount of well-priced great indie titles, basically UGC almost, that it's overwhelming what you can pay for on exclusives.
So getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up. Steam Frame controllers, included with the headset, are
Some
designed
guy said no Fortnite Omega lol, no Fortnite Omega lol, no Fortnite. I guess that's true. You know what? And we have to balance that because there is no Fortnite Omega lol. And perhaps Gabe Newell's yacht will sink when he realizes that you can't drop in risky reels when you buy the Steam machine. This could be a real problem.
with all the inputs you need for your VR titles, like motion controls and capacitive tracking for all your fingers, as well as a split gamepad layout to work with your whole Steam library. They even feature the same magnetic thumbsticks as Steam Controller for responsiveness and longevity. Steam Frame also pairs seamlessly with the new Steam Controller, a great companion for playing non-VR games in the headset. To make sure streaming is smooth and stable no matter what, Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter that lets you stream your games from your PC to your headset over a fast and dedicated Wi-Fi 6 connection. And the game is streamed to your frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking.
Bro, this is what the world is actually going to look like once we all get into VR. This is what it's going to look like when the headset comes off. Okay? We're fucking so close. Based, but I'm ready. Ready Player One? No, the wrong part about Ready Player One was not the world would be a dystopia, it's that the online world would be that fun. You're gonna log into the online world, it's gonna be like, do you want to pay for access to the Overwatch character pack? It's gonna be shitty, but then the real world's gonna be just as bad as they said. At least then you'll have fiber. No, this is gonna be this is gonna be Los Angeles 2036, but there's gonna be no cables because I can't possibly even envision fiber in my future. It's still gonna be a fucking antenna up here, and it's gonna be fucking
Using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking. And Steam Frame is a PC, running Steam OS. In addition to streaming, you can install and play a bunch of VR and non-VR games right in the headset without a host PC. You can also expand your onboard storage to fit even more games with a micro SD card. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame. All built with the same DNA as Steam Deck. All powered by Steam, work together, and can be used however you'd like with whatever peripherals and accessories you choose. Everything you see here is
this is a big deal. This is a big deal. What they're not saying is Windows. What they're not saying is Microsoft. And that's the first time that's been the case for PC gaming. Pretty much ever. That's since my entire life. I mean, they've completely broken out. You could do console, VR, and mobile all through Steam. It's a big deal. It's a scary thing for Microsoft. Because Microsoft thought they had PC gaming on lock forever and thought, why don't we get greedy and take consoles too? And now they're about to lose consoles and they might lose PC gaming. Like long term, not short term, but long term, this could like start cutting into their, like they overstepped. It's crazy.
culmination of what we've learned from our previous hardware experience and what we've wanted ourselves as gamers. Powerful PC gaming in an open ecosystem, giving you more ways to enjoy the games you love and discover new ones. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame are all shipping in early 2026. Learn more at steampowered.com/hardware.
Cool. Yeah, big announcement. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very fucking interesting. But I don't know how it's all gonna play. I mean, I guess as long as Steam is a private company and they can make their own decisions, I feel okay with it. But man, if Valve ever goes public, they have a lot of power, bro. It's crazy. H-Rock hates the Steam machine because it uses an AMD chip. I got news for you because I worked at NVIDIA. I can just reveal this. NVIDIA doesn't want to make this fucking chips for consoles. They don't want to. It's a low margin business. You get paid jack shit and you have to use up all your foundry time at TSMC. They don't even, NVIDIA doesn't even want to make fucking GPUs for gamers, bro. I'll fucking reveal it. If they didn't already have that business, they wouldn't want to do it because, look, they have to go to the TSMC foundry, okay? And they have to buy, they got to buy space and time here, okay? And they're competing with fucking Apple and everyone else, all the whatever, everyone that makes or needs chips, Samsung, every fucking person. They have to bid for this time, and they have to bid for like years in advance to get foundry time, and so they buy as much as they can, that much as TSMC will give them, and then they want to use 90% of it on AI chips. That's kind of why there's like always a shortage of the gaming ones, bro. They make as much as they can reasonably make to sell to gamers, but the rest of it is going to AI chips because you can sell those for 50 grand. You make a gaming chip, you sell it for, I don't know, $1,000. The gamer complains it's too expensive. You make an AI chip, you sell it to Zuckerberg for 50 grand. He's like, oh, I want 50 more. Okay. So from an NVIDIA POV, they would rather just use all their foundry time on AI chips. And so they have no interest in spending. I mean, they already make the Switch chip and probably want to get out of that, but they did it anyway. Nintendo deal. But they don't want to make the console ones. They used to. I think NVIDIA made the chip for maybe the 360. One of those. What? That era, I think PS3 maybe. They made the chip for one of that era of consoles, and they didn't like it. It was a disaster. It was a original Xbox 360. Yeah. From my knowledge internally, it was like, man, this is like extremely expensive, low margin hassle. Microsoft constantly pressured us. We made no money on it. It was not fun. The reason you might want to do it as a chip manufacturer, if you're NVIDIA or if you're AMD, the reason AMD does it is not because they make money on it. It's because if AMD is the chip in the consoles, then game developers have to make their games run on AMD. That's why. Okay? If AMD has a supply of consoles with AMD chips, then somebody has to make games that run on them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the market share to justify it. So it's a little insight into why the things are the way they are in the console business. But NVIDIA's got enough market share to not worry about that, and they don't want to waste the time. Switch 2 has an NVIDIA chip? Yeah, I mentioned that. I work at Microsoft and people are freaking out about the Steam Machine announcement. They should. They should. I think if there's a point of this presentation today, it's that Microsoft is a sick gazelle about to get eaten by a fucking hungry lion. They shrugged this off 10 years ago, and now it's 10 years later, and they are 10 years weaker in gaming. And Steam has never been stronger. This has been the 2 years of indie Steam hits. PC gaming has never been stronger, but there's like a huge chunk, like, honestly, I think it's like 80% of gamers who simply will never, ever game if they have to use mouse, keyboard, and install things. That's just the fucking truth. Just most gamers will not game unless they can fucking pop it on a TV on a couch with a controller. That's what they want. And Steam Machine is going to allow them to get the access to this incredible Steam library and Steam OS without the form factor they hate. And so I think it's fucking strong. It's a strong value prop. This is what LTT was told about the price. Let's see.
They did give me one hint, though. They said that while they expect it to be very competitively priced with a PC, that it will be priced like a PC, rather than like a console with games subsidizing the upfront hardware purchase. They wouldn't say why, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's partially to avoid stepping on the margin opportunities of their potential partners for Steam games and Steam software, but also because they recognize that the Steam machine is a full-fledged PC capable.
I mean, we'll see, but my gut tells me it's going to be priced like these. I really think it's going to be priced like these. Despite what he's saying, and despite what they're telling him, I think it's going to be priced like these. I think it's going to come straight at the throat of consoles. But maybe not. We'll see. I mean, maybe they started out higher and they wean it down. But it just feels like, especially in an era where Xbox is getting fucking clobbered on affordability, they could come in swinging. We'll see, though. We'll see. It's going to be priced at $67. And then Gabe Newell's going to come out and go, and then he's going to say, hey, I skipped Half-Life 3, but I got Half-Life 6 and Half-Life 7. And he's on his brand new yacht. And they're going to go, doo, and do the horn. And then he's going to fucking ramp it over something. Ramp it over the Xbox fucking headquarters. And everyone's going to fucking clap. Okay? It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. And he's going to land it right in his bunker. What is this?
First, the Steam Deck shattered expectations, improved PC.
Dude, the top comment is, please God, I beg of you, make Gabe Newell immortal for the good of mankind. We are Gabe Newell glazing is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. it's getting unreal. Of all the people to make. Dude, it's funny because I think people are just so used to getting fucking dicked over by companies like Microsoft that Steam, which is still like, you know, doing everything in its own best interest. Just like not extremely predatory. It's like, oh my God, he's the savior. He's the fucking, like, they're making a healthy profit on everything. They have, if anything, a monopoly on PC gaming, and they've gotten a lot of kids into gambling. Yeah. A lot of kids have gotten a lifelong gambling addiction from CSGO knives. Is Steam the Costco of gaming? That's a great, great analogy. Yes. Yes. Costco is similarly loved because they share some of their surplus value with the customer. And I think Steam does the same. And so they've compounded. I do think like the Steam store is one of the best aspects to show somebody how competition among different players benefits them, to how a market with competition benefits them. It drives prices down, innovation up. You get a lot of opportunity. Like, I think Steam is unironically, the Steam store is unironically one of the best examples left for regular people of how it benefits them, because so many other markets are captured by like one or two duopolies where there's no competition. So they don't see it. But I do I wish their cut was smaller. I think Steam's cut is too high. I've always said that. I always believe that. I think YouTube's cut is too high. I think Steam's cut is too high. But at the very least, because of the cut, they are hands off. They're hands off and they let it actually compete. And that's enough to allow like a really good market environment. What would you say is a good cut? I'd say like 10 to 15, to be quite honest. That's what I would feel is more fair. I think more than 15 is actually kind of crazy, but what's it now? 30, yeah. And YouTube's cut's 50. I'm not big on the cut either, but the amount of shit you get for free as a developer on Steam is crazy. Yeah, again, it's not a bad deal. It's just like, I think right in the realm of predatory. You laugh, but after World War III, Gabe will have all the leverage because he owns the bunkers. Will be forced to use Steam machines. Bro, the way this chat acts, they will have bought Steam machines during World War III, and they'll be playing and posting memes as the bombs are dropping. So he's not gonna have to force shit. They're gonna be fucking. They are going to be getting kill streaks in a Call of Duty they hate, dropping nukes in the game while they see nukes dropping outside and saying LOL and taking a fucking screenshot of it. Okay? So what was LTT about to say? I'll watch if you want to see. What was he saying?
They did give me one hint, though. The upfront hardware purchase. They wouldn't say why, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's partially to avoid stepping on the margin opportunities
I think it's
of
going to
their
be
potential partners
cheaper than he's saying.
Steam games and Steam software, but also because they recognize that the Steam machine is a full-fledged PC, capable of being used as a full-fledged PC. There's no guarantee then that, say, a corporate purchase of 10,000 of these things would result in a single game sale. So they really do need to protect the sustainability of their hardware business.
I'm not saying this could never happen, but I am so gonna take the under on companies buying tons of Steam machines. I don't think this is gonna happen. I do not think that there's going to be large purchases of these things by non-gamers. This is a gaming this is a gaming console. That's essentially what it is, a gaming console. Unless, because there was that thing where militaries were buying PS4s or whatever to rip out the hardware. Like if somehow it's undercosted to where there's arbitrage, or PS3s, I'm sorry, and you can like buy this and it's a better value, then theoretically, I guess. But assuming it's priced even, at cost, I don't think that would ever happen. I don't think anyone's going to buy this for office use. I think that's very silly. And I would take that bet that it doesn't happen. Like en masse, as a real market share. How does the Gabe Cube run QuickBooks? I mean, you could, as they said, you could dual boot or whatever, but I'm just saying, why wouldn't you get a fucking Dell for your office to run QuickBooks then? Because you want your account to be able to fucking boot up blueprints on the side. It doesn't. It's stupid. Okay, guys. It's been a minute since we've been live, and one thing I really wanted to understand better is what the fuck is happening with all the Epstein list drama. Like, apparently, and I call it drama because I think people are really trying to say this Epstein guy was a bad guy or something. Like, did the list come out and he was vindicated? Or what? I'm getting the sense that, like, I'm catching up late, but Jeffrey Epstein might have been a bad guy. He might have been like a real jerk, honestly. So I know that CoffeeZilla on his Voidzilla account made a fucking update, and I wanted to check it out because I've been in Japan. I know the gist of it that I know is that some new Epstein emails were leaked, 20,000 new documents, some of which reference Trump. I read some of them. Most of them were about how Epstein thinks Trump is absolutely dog shit at business and will screw you over at a moment's notice. The ones that I read didn't even mention pedophilia or women. It was just that, hey, this guy will fuck you over if you do business with him. I mean, not the best source, Jeffrey Epstein, but he seemed pretty confident talking to other rich, evil people that, man, of us, Trump is the worst. That was the emails I read. But apparently, there is also an email between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother, Mark Epstein, where Mark Epstein says that Trump blew Bubba, aka Bill Clinton. And so now there is the joke around the world that Trump has had sex, actually, I'm sorry, not sex, had oral sex with Bill Clinton, and that Vladimir Putin has the tape. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's very, very funny. I think it's obviously a joke in the emails, and I don't think it's super real, but it does make the longing looks between Trump and Biden during the election a lot funnier. It does make it a lot funnier. So I'm not too down on that. Now I do want to watch what Coffee Soul had to say, because I'm sure he did a deeper dive, and I would like to know that because I've been in Japan.
Today we're talking about the 20,000 Epstein files that got released. It's a complicated picture involving a lot of powerful people, but let me just say right up front, this is an ongoing story. There's a lot that's going to be released in the coming days, so just understand we're going to do our best to explain what has been happening, because this story has been full of twists and turns. It starts with the Democrats releasing 3 emails from the Jeffrey Epstein estate. One says that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. A victim spent hours at my house with him. Another says the victim, Mar-a-Lago, Trump says he asked me to resign. Never a member ever, Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine Maxwell to stop. And then the third email is from Michael Wolff talking about Jeffrey Epstein's association with Trump, saying you can
Video audio is too loud. Let me turn it down a little bit.
hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it looks like he really could win, you could save him generating a debt. Basically implying the idea that Epstein would have some kind of compromising information on Trump. But that was just the start of it, because then after that, the GOP came out swinging and they said Democrats whine about releasing the files, but they only cherry pick when they have them to generate clickbait. You deserve.
I do think it's funny to imply that, that you're cherry picking the good email or the bad emails between Trump and Epstein. Like you shouldn't have any. It's like you're not even looking at the emails where Epstein said nice things about Trump. You're only looking at the ones where he implied that he knew about sex with underage girls and was perhaps involved. It's just crazy. Like there shouldn't be any. It's the cherry picking is a crazy counter argument. There should not be any. For most people, you cannot cherry pick Epstein emails.
The full truth. And then they released over 20,000 files. Some of it had to do with Trump, some of it didn't. Importantly, 2 of the emails that were in there were some of the ones that the Democrats released, except they were unredacted in the GOP copy. And these lack of redactions are obviously very intentional. So we see first, I want you to realize the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. And then it says, Virginia spent hours at my house with him. Now that name is really important because it's Virginia Giuffre. She was the Prince Andrew accuser, but importantly, she did not accuse Trump, rather saying that he couldn't have been friendlier. This obviously is one of the main reasons the GOP appears to have released this, because in part, they're implying that, hey, if you release this redacted, people are going to speculate who this victim was, thinking that there was something that happened, but actually the person that's in there didn't accuse Trump of something illegal. And so this is sort of the implication here with the Democrats saying, well, you're unredacting a victim's name. So that's been the battle there. Specifically, the second email, by the way, just further confirms it. It says blank worked at Mar-a-Lago. She was one of the ones that accused Prince Andrew. In the Democrat copy, all of that was redacted because, of course, it gives away the fact that we are talking about, once again, Virginia Giuffre.
Okay.
Also, in these emails released by the Republicans, it says Blank worked at Mar-a-Lago. Trump knew of it, came to my house many times. He never got a massage. That's straight from Jeffrey Epstein clearing him of a massage, which obviously is the one person you most don't want to get a massage from. So honestly, that is good for him, which is obviously why they released it. Begging the question why they didn't release it sooner. Maybe it's because they didn't want people to know that Trump knew about the girls. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the fact that Epstein is saying, hey, look, Trump publicly said that it was me that he asked to stop, but actually it was Ghislaine that he asked to stop. And my question here is, if it is Maxwell that was the one who poached Virginia Giuffre from Mar-a-Lago and then trafficked her, then why is she getting so much special treatment? I mean, that is the part where the Republicans don't look good at all. I mean, what is going on with Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted sex offender, trying to get a pardon, getting Todd Blanche to give her a softball interview, and then she immediately gets preferential treatment. Look, we've been over the fact that she's at basically a special prison in Bryan, Texas, where normally someone of her status wouldn't be allowed to go to because it's too nice, it's too low security. But in addition to that, new reports are saying that top officials at Camp Bryan are sick of being Maxwell's Federal law enforcement staff working at the camp have been waiting on Maxwell hand and foot, including,
waiting
by the
on
way,
her hand and foot? She's been given a puppy? Why the fuck is Ghislaine Maxwell getting a fucking spa treatment?
She's been given a puppy as part of the preferential treatment she's been receiving. Overwhelmingly, Maxwell has been getting a super nice ride in all of this. This, of course, makes us all wonder, once again, what do they have on Trump? I mean, why treat her like this if she doesn't have something compromising in all of that? It just kind of begs some questions you probably don't want to ask. Also very suspicious is the fact that immediately after this report came out, Trump personally called Rep. Lauren Boebert, urging her to withdraw support for releasing the Epstein files. Bondi, Blanche, and Patel were going to meet today about the Epstein files. This, of course, is furthering the idea the White House has no interest in this story. I think Trump tweeted multiple times today about the Epstein hoax. Again, we've heard that a million times. And the question is, why are you acting so suspicious if you have nothing to hide, right? If you didn't get the massage, which Epstein says, what are you hiding? Why are you so worried about all this stuff coming out? By the way, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was actually asked about the White House pressuring people to get them not to sign for the release of the Epstein files, and her response was pretty insane.
Why are White House officials then meeting with Representative Boebert in an effort to try and get her to not sign this petition calling for the release of the files?
Doesn't it show transparency that members of the Trump administration are willing to brief members of Congress whenever they please? Doesn't that show our level of transparency? Doesn't that show the level of transparency when we are willing to sit down with members of Congress and address their concerns?
It shows transparency to try to go and block files being released on the world's most prolific.
But I do think this is a little out of date, though, because Trump did flip recently and is now like, release all the files. But I think they've made some changes to make that palatable. So we'll catch up to that.
In fact, we know about it. That's the transparent part. It's just insane. I mean, that's the kind of spin we've expected with this story all along. That's been part of what's been so frustrating about all of this. So look, I want to get back to this story because there's so many people involved here. We're just going to go through one by one. I mean, look, it's a lot more than just Trump.
Wait, someone in the chat said, I've been seeing TikTok fan edits of the files going crazy. What do you mean? You mean these files, like the 20,000 documents? Because the actual files aren't out yet. But if you got a link, that sounds very funny.
Like one person that got kind of a weird stray in all of this was the fact that Epstein talked about Hillary doing naughties with Vince. Vince being Vince Foster, a White House counsel. There was a rumor about Clinton and Vince having some kind of affair, and then later Vince was found dead of suicide. And this is where we see Jeffrey Epstein and Michael Wolff's kind of symbiotic relationship. Michael Wolff is a journalist who has been prolific in all of this. Well, I struggle to call him a journalist, actually, because as what we'll find, he was more like a PR guy for Epstein. But
yeah, I will say, from what I saw in the emails, Michael Wolff, the journalist, came off more as like the Epstein whisperer. He seemed like a guy who was like deeply, but not like in a journalist way, like a deeply buddy way with Epstein, joking with him, laughing with him, giving him advice. It was not, it was very weird, and not like hey, I need to get the story from you, because it would be worthwhile for a journalist to pursue talking to Epstein, but in a way where it was
he was actually
compromised.
asking Epstein and using Epstein for a lot of access to information, because Michael Wolff actually told Jeffrey Epstein, hey, basically, I'm interviewing him this afternoon. Anything you think I should ask? And he's talking about Trump. Epstein replies, do you want to be provocative? Michael Wolff says, job is to get the hard ones in without being ejected from the room. What's the one that pierces?
Wait, go back. Trump shuttle, Hawaiian tropic contest, mortgage on Mar-a-Lago, revenue of golf courses as income, total debt of all co's. Father bought chips in a casino to stave off bankruptcy. Yeah, so I read some of the other ones here, or a different email. I haven't read this email, but a lot of the emails are from Jeff, just basically saying that Trump lies about all of his income and, at least at the time, lies about all his money. I think Trump actually has billions now because of the meme coin scandal he pushed as president. But at the time, Jeffrey Epstein indicates in these emails that, like, Trump was, like, for example, if there's the Trump Hotel, Trump didn't actually own that. He would just lease his name to it for 2% of the revenue. But then he would list the entire revenue of the hotel as his income to pretend to be vastly richer than he was. That was the art of the deal that
Michael Wolff says, job is to get the hard ones in without being ejected from the room. What's the one that pierces through? Jeffrey Epstein basically says, hey, you can do this softball. That's a Hillary problem. He would smile, and then you can ask about his relationship with the electricians union and Mar-a-Lago, and out you go. Obviously hinting to the idea that he's going to get kicked out if he asks about more sensitive subjects. Michael Wolff asks about, hey, what's up with Foster? And then he describes what that's all about. And this brings us to Michael Wolff, who I want to spend a little bit of time here on. Although some of you may not know as much about him, you may be less interested in him. I think he's one of sort of the worst looking people in all of this. Actually,
that's not very nice.
Although he's one of,
I mean, we can attack his journalism, but let's not body shame the man. Yeah,
sort of the worst
ugly
looking people in all of this. Actually, after reading these emails, he may be the most disgusting person that comes out of that, and that's saying a lot given what's in here. But I want to just show you this because actually the Democrats initially released was this idea was that Michael Wolff and Epstein were basically planning how to respond to Epstein being brought.
Someone said Jeffrey Epstein has so many typos. I bet he was drunk. And I'm just going to say, in my experience, this is just how rich people type emails. This is my honest experience. The higher you would go up the corporate ladder, the more they type like this, bro. They type fucking like all lowercase, bad fucking punctuation. It's all just rumbled together. So I don't know. This seems very par for the course.
Up in the context of Trump. Michael Wolff says, I hear CNN is planning to ask Trump about his relationship with you, either on air or in Scrum afterwards.
Ever since my gold took off, I've been dropping punctuation. I used to all the best, Brandon, at the end, and now I don't even sign off, bro. I don't even sign off. I swear to God, I don't anymore. My emails, I don't write the ending. It feels like I don't have to. I got gold.
Epstein says, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? That being interesting because it's like, wait, were they in touch with Trump at this time? Because Trump denied being in contact with Epstein basically since early 2000s. But anyway, if he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you valuable PR or political currency. I
will say, sorry, one more thing on that note. This is actual advice for people in chat. This is actual advice. Drop the exclamation points from your emails. From now on, forever. Don't use a single one. Don't type like this. Don't type like this. This is crazy. They'll hate you for this. But drop all of them. It's going to be hard for you to do. But just drop them all. Find a different way. And then here's the second pass. After you do that, that's your first assignment. No more exclamation points. Find a way to type it and seem not like an asshole without using exclamation points. The second thing you got to do is after you finish writing your email, look at it and realize you used the word I like 40 times and start cutting it out. I promise you, you're going to look at your email and you're going to say like, I did this, I'm going to do this, I think this. You said I like 1,000 times. You need to cut it out. You have to chop all that down. You need to use more corporate we's. You need to be like, we did this, or just cut out all the, what is the type of word? We, I, what, what is the fucking word of that? Wait, like the pronoun. Cut all the pronouns out, dude. Cut all the pronouns out. Sorry. I'm not woke. Cut all the pronouns, dude. Just make it more vague, honestly. It's going to sound crazy. It works. I promise you. I'm not blowing smoke. Fewer eyes, fewer exclamation points. It'll work.
And hang him in a way that generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey's a good guy that's gotten a raw deal and is victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in the Trump regime. Now, if it doesn't sound like PR, it might be sounding like blackmail to you. It's like kind of a little bit of both. Michael Wolff is basically conspiring to generate a debt for Jeffrey Epstein from Trump, who is about to become the most powerful person on the planet. So that's really bizarre because Michael Wolff has positioned himself as sort of this truth teller about Jeffrey Epstein and he's got all these tapes that he's going to release showing how close Trump and Epstein were. But it's like behind the scenes, he was actually kind of running PR for Epstein, which is sort of the worst thing you could have ever done. This is in 2016. Michael Wolff is talking to Epstein about a Patterson book, which later becomes the James Patterson Filthy Rich book. He says basically that would present some time issues if it was released too early. You would not be able to do a competing book or documentary before then. That's not to say it shouldn't be pursued. In a sense, better to know what Patterson's position is and a year from now be able to counter it. In 2016, he's playing like PR, I'm going to fix your reputation, Jeffrey Epstein. He then says that.
That's a tough. In 2016, I guess, but man, signing up to be the PR person for Jeffrey Epstein in 2016. That's a tough job. You don't know what you're getting into, I think. I think you've picked a very difficult task. I would not buy stock. Getting it on the ground floor.
That being said, if you need an immediate counter to the book, I believe Trump offers an ideal opportunity. It's a chance to make the story about something other than you while at the same time letting you frame your own story. Also, becoming an anti-Trump voice gives you a certain political cover, which you decidedly don't have now. And so again, we get the idea of him kind of scheming to get Epstein cover, which is so bad because now Michael Wolff is like, oh, we're the guy exposing Trump's connections to Epstein. It's like, buddy, what are your connections to Epstein?
But also, that doesn't... Epstein can't get cover by exposing Trump's connections to Epstein because he's Epstein. That's not a good defense. You can't be like, listen, I might be disgraced pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, but Trump hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. Trump was on the island. Whose island? Mine. Jeffrey Epstein. It's crazy. It's not a real, what is dog shit strategy?
We have later them discussing a lawsuit against Epstein and Donald Trump with a woman claiming that she was raped. Michael Wolff responds, well, I guess if there's anyone who can wave this away, it's Donald. Let me know if there's anything I can do. Again, why are you trying to do something for a man accused of these things? It really seems like Michael Wolff was kind of running cover here. Now, I also want to talk about the Prince Andrew Trump scandal that appears to have been brewing here, or at least is implied in the emails. You may see some people say that Epstein met Trump and Prince Andrew back in 2019, which of course would be well after Trump said they had no contact, which would be bad news for Trump. In fact, there's a few things in here which suggest that Epstein had contact with Trump. Of course, we don't know for sure. I'll just present you the evidence we do have. So this is back in 2019, June 3rd. They're talking about London real estate, about how financials are going to leave. Then Epstein says, once they are gone, the monarchy is dependable, saying Prince Andrew and Trump today, too funny. And this is actually the same day that Trump and Andrew are spotted in London, of course, meeting together. Jeffrey Epstein says, recall Prince Andrew's accuser came out of Mar-a-Lago, Virginia Giuffre. Then we have a sender that's blacked out, but I think there's strong evidence that it's Steve Bannon, by the way, just to give you some context. They say, can't believe nobody is making you the connective tissue. So the connective tissue between these two being Epstein. And then Epstein replies, F&B only. Now later, Jeffrey Epstein says, report from London. Donald now thinks he's king. Ivanka a princess. He doesn't need advisors. Bannon says, yep, London trip not good. He had a gleam in his eye. Of course, this hinting at the idea that Epstein was there. If he got a report from London, if he's talking about Prince Andrew and Trump, or that's how people are coming to that conclusion at least. And then we have the thread that makes us know this is Steve Bannon, which is he gives a link where it says Steve Bannon believes Trump obstructed justice. Michael Wolff says, he says, BBC crushed him. He should give it up. The book is going to be a stiff. I don't know if he senses that. Epstein replies, unfortunately, I do know his comments have encouraged some to look to you for answers. This all being about an article about Steve Bannon, obviously. And then Steve Bannon says, Burke says, I have zero to worry about. Now, if you don't know who Burke is, he's a lawyer who previously defended Steve Bannon. Epstein then replies, good but unnecessary. Should I call Michael Wolff? Bannon says, what are you going to say to him? He's a wild animal caught in a trap. Epstein says, catch his breath. Bannon says, tell him to lay off me. It's both not working and not helping. Okay. Done. Again, this is all in the context of Michael Wolff talking about Steve Bannon, and then he says, hey, tell him to back off. This is furthering the idea that Epstein, Bannon, Michael Wolff, they all had a close relationship, which is mostly public knowledge, but we see exactly how close. Now, in addition to this, I also wanted to note this very strange...
Dude, it's going to be strange in the year 2036 when we're reading the fucking leaked Discord logs of whoever the fucking president is, President Barron Trump. And it's like fucking CoffeeZilla's son going down here. So he said Omega Dance and then posted fucking I'm Eepy 14 times.
Interaction between these two, where Epstein sends a news article about George Nader being basically caught up in some child pornography charges. And then Bannon says, not cool. Epstein, mandatory minimum 15. Bannon says, MBZ must have coughed him up. How did he get extradited? Could have stayed in UAE forever. Epstein says he was not extradited. He was duped. Bannon, WTF. Epstein, there is his bail hearing today, currently in Brooklyn. Doesn't look good. Pre-trial detention. Now,
bro, sending emails that are this short pisses me off. Include more in each email or use a text message.
Now, I personally found it strange that they were so concerned about the fate of someone caught up in such horrible charges. We'll also talk about the Thanksgiving message. This one got a lot of attention, which is that Epstein was going to Thanksgiving and he was asked, where are you having Thanksgiving? He says, Eva. This lady, Faith Cates, replies, he's such a snooze. Who else is down there? He replies, David Fizzle, Hansen, Trump. And once again, Trump claims that he was not in contact with Jeffrey Epstein after the early 2000s. He said, hey, I cut him off. I realized he was a bad guy. And if Epstein's having Thanksgiving with him, that's obviously a problem. Now, I don't have any public confirmation for that outside of these emails, which are basically talking about it, implying it. Once again, the same is true of Prince Andrew. Do you actually think these emails are about him actually seeing them, or is he just reporting on it? It's kind of hard to know, but I just want you to know what's out there. You also should know about the foreign governments that Epstein was working with. In one email, you have Jeffrey Epstein talking about advising a Russian ambassador. He says, Churkin was great. He understood Trump after our conversations. It's not complex. And Churkin was a Russian ambassador at the time until he died.
He
and
died?
then you also have Israel.
How
there are a
did he
bunch
die?
of public reports about Israel being implicated with Epstein. how spies stayed with him at
How
the
many people
time.
died in this story?
And some of them even met at Epstein's house. And then you also have some emails between Epstein and a UAE royal, a sultan. So Epstein was rubbing shoulders with the top cream of the crop of our society. I mean, I don't think that should come as a shock. We should also probably talk about Larry Summers. He was in an article, Mogul.
I fucking knew Ludwig was involved. God damn it, Ludwig. God damn it. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Fucking Lud, dude. We let it go. Someone said we let it go the first time. Ludwig, you get one. You get one because you made, what's that video? You made the how I accidentally, you did a subathon. Yeah, you did a subathon. You get one for the subathon.
Owner gives Harvard more than money. And then he is in emails with Larry Summers.
Wait, did Ludwig win PogChamps? I thought in my mind he didn't. Did he win PogChamps? Oh, no. Okay. I was like, that'd be crazy.
Where Epstein tells him, when we meet, I will endeavor to mesmerize you with stories of DC. So wild. And then Larry Summers said, I am trying to figure out why American elite think if you murder your baby by beating and abandonment, it must be irrelevant to your admission at Harvard, but hit on a few women 10 years ago and can't work at a network or think tank. Do not repeat this insight. Oops. Now everybody has it. So there you go. I mean, that's a high-level snapshot of what we saw in this release. Lots of people being implicated in one way or another.
It sounds like a bad stand-up, dude. He's like, you can't even... Because of woke, dude, you can't even do it anymore. Just because I was involved with criminal pedophilia a few years ago, I can't.
Quite varied. I mean, some people you find out they've been playing a journalist, but have been secretly running PR cover for Epstein, like well after, you kind of knew he was implicated in a lot of this stuff. Other people like Clinton are catching strays on, affairs that they were having. Trump gets a mixed bag where initially the implication that he was kind of given was revealed to be not quite correct because they're talking about Virginia Giuffre, although it still is a mystery why he's behaving so strangely regarding Ghislaine Maxwell, why he's trying extensively to block the Epstein files. I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers. Instead, I just want to break down what we do know so far. As always, we've all been just looking to get to the end of this thing so we can all move on. It's been amazing how slow they have dripped this thing.
Incredibly slow. Incredibly fucking slow. This was a few days ago. I think he has an update, and I'm more excited about the update because a lot has changed in the past 24 hours. Hopefully he includes the fact that Trump has suddenly done a reverse about face and said, yeah, he wants the files released, which is a very strange pivot. But I'll see if he's got that in his update. And then there's the Bubba stuff. And then also, do I have this? Where's bookmarks? Dude, this was funny. Yeah, okay. So he didn't mention the email that I want to talk about, which is the one where Epstein said, I have met some very bad people in my life. None as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. Just like, from Epstein, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. And then on the same day, Trump's fucking truth socialing that it's a Jeffrey Epstein hoax and it's all a deflection. And there should be no deflections to Epstein. The Republicans should only focus on opening up our country and telling everybody not to get involved. And now, in the past few days, he's flipped completely. He went 100% 180, and now he's back to release the files, which means something has changed behind the scenes. So it would be good to get to the bottom of that. I wonder if CoffeeZilla has some motion on that. Yeah, he got in a fight with Marjorie Taylor Greene and came up with, I think, his most washed statement yet. Does anyone have a link to that Truth Social? He called her Marjorie Taylor Brown because grass gets brown when it rots. I'm saying he said that. You put parentheses and explain that. That's washed behavior, dude. That nobody who made Sleepy Joe would make Marjorie Taylor Brown. It was the big news everywhere except for Fox. CNN mentioned the Epstein files. NBC mentioned the Epstein files. ABC did, and then Fox covered Taco Bell items rumored to be removed from the menu. Which honestly may be even bigger news because losing the 7-layer burrito is a fucking national disaster. It's a fucking national disaster. The source, by the way, verified Taco Bell employee on Reddit. The major news is a Reddit post of someone saying, I work at Taco Bell, we're going to remove these items. Wow, that's powerful fucking stuff. That's how you know it's real. Where the fuck is what I'm looking for? Oh, here it is. Okay, wait. Trump woke up stressing about Marjorie Taylor Greene and gave her a new nickname. Yeah, here's the fucking lightweight Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Brown. Green grass turns brown when it begins to rot. Betrayed the entire Republican Party when she turned left. Performed poorly on the pathetic View and became the rhino that we all know she always was. Just another fake politician, no different than Rand Paul Jr., Thomas Massey, who got caught being a full-fledged Republican in name-only rhino, make America great again. It's just wild because if you look at Marjorie Taylor Greene's account or video about what she's saying, she is like glazing Trump 99% of it. It's her saying, I have always voted MAGA. I've always been behind this movement. I have voted with Trump on almost everything, but he's being weird about the Epstein files. That's literally what, I'm not kidding. That's literally what she said. She said, the only thing that I'm breaking with him on is I would like to get these files released. So it's a little bit strange. But let's see what the update was from CoffeeZilla, because he is a great source on this.
Epstein investigation. This is brand new. We're going to go through it because previously they said we didn't have enough evidence. This all got started 2 days ago when House Democrats released 3 emails that seemed to implicate Trump. The GOP responded by releasing 20,000 emails, saying that those 3 emails were cherry-picked and misleading, specifically in relation to Virginia Giuffre, who never accused Trump of wrongdoing. However, in this huge release of emails, there was a lot. And specifically, I should note that Trump was mentioned more than anyone. But remember, it was a mixed bag. So depending on who your news sources are, you may see them focus on one side of it or the other. Some will spend tons of time talking about Jeffrey Epstein, saying he never got a massage, referring to Trump. Others will focus on the fact that Epstein claimed that he was the only one who could take Trump down, implying that he had some kind of compromising information on Trump. I will remind you that these files went way beyond just Trump. Some people like Michael Wolff came off terrible, like they were plotting to blackmail people. They were running PR for Jeffrey Epstein. Others like Bannon seemed to be much closer than we previously knew. This went to the highest halls of power, and we talked about some of the governments that were even involved. But today I just want to focus on everything that led up to now there being an investigation into the Epstein files. Because previously, the DOJ has said there was no evidence to do this, which is what's really weird about all of this. Remember the flip-flopping that's been going on over and over. I'm going to put a few clips here just to show you how much things have changed over the days, weeks, and months leading up to this.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
A lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
Breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
I'm not going to withhold information from the American public ever, but I'm also not going to rush to get it out there in a format in which they can't rely on it.
Overnight, the FBI and Justice Department releasing 11 hours of footage they say helps confirm notorious financier Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide in his Manhattan jail cell in 2019. But perhaps the biggest bombshell, investigators say they found no incriminating client list of Epstein's, no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, and no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
That's right. First, it was a Democrat cover-up. Then they reviewed the files. They found Trump's name in a few of them. Then they said it was a Democrat hoax. They said there's nothing to release here. Jeffrey Epstein was a soul trafficker to himself. Wow. And they released a memo basically saying there's nothing to see here. They said specifically, we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties, and that it did not expose any additional third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoing.
Dude, this incredibly rich, wealthy, well-connected pedophile constantly rubbing shoulders and talking with all of the financial leaders of the world, and none of them ever knew about his actions, nor none of them took part. His island and his fucking trafficking was entirely for himself. It's fucking insane. But the truth is insane, I guess. This is exactly what happened.
And yet now we are investigating people. So what has flip-flopped us yet again? Well, after this email release, the president has been acting really weird. First, he personally called Rep. Lauren Boebert, urging her to withdraw support for a bill releasing the Epstein files. And then several of the top law enforcement officials met to discuss the Epstein files, specifically in the Situation Room, which was covered by a White House correspondent. And I think it's worth hearing him talk about how weird this is for people who aren't in the Washington zeitgeist.
In that same day, she was summoned to a meeting with the Attorney General and the FBI director. So these are the top law enforcement officials of the whole United States government are sitting in the White House Situation Room providing a briefing. I'm like, okay, so what does that all tell you? You've got very sensitive information that being briefed here to a member of Congress, presumably, you know, with a security clearance. Honestly, you know, when I see something like that, I'm like, that's just flashing intel, right? So the fact that this happened in the Situation Room really was like a whoa moment for me. Right. Because I'm like, wow. So this goes to classified setting. They don't want her to bring a briefing, or they don't want to bring her phone in. Presumably, she probably didn't have any staff that were allowed in there. This is like clearance to the max.
Yeah.
So this wasn't an ordinary reaction. I mean, they were taking it very seriously. And the fallout to all of this was Donald Trump today saying he will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on.
I'm sorry, wait, did he... Does he think JP Morgan and Chase are two separate people? Or that JP Morgan Chase is a real person who's alive and not... JP Morgan Chase has been dead for a long fucking time. Is it, I don't, JP Morgan as a person and Chase? Mr. Chase himself is going down for his connection to Epstein?
Was going on with him. And Bondi immediately accepted saying,
oh my God, it's Chase from House MD. Oh, I thought he was a good guy.
Mr. President, the department...
Maybe they're going to get him for what he did to that African dictator. Maybe that's what he's going down for.
Will pursue this with urgency and integrity. But notably, all these people are sort of Democrats. So there don't seem to be any Republicans mentioned here, which makes sense given that Trump's initial statement calls it still an Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans. So it seems clear that they're not going to go after their own. Instead, they're going to go after Democrats only, which again is weird because they previously said they did not have evidence to do any of that. They said they didn't have evidence to investigate anyone, Democrat or Republican. And when people didn't buy that and said, well, clearly there's something here and you guys are hiding it, they go, okay, well, we're only going to investigate one side of it, which I don't think is going to appease anyone, especially given that these emails that we just saw crossed the spectrum once again, as we knew, and heavily involved Trump, despite the fact that some of them were good for him, some of them were bad for him. There's just no basis to just investigate one side of the political spectrum here. And especially given that previously y'all said that there was nothing, there was no evidence. What's the evidence now to justify an investigation? Well, I'll give you one theory, although to be clear, it's impossible to know. Maybe this is just vindictive, but take the context for a second that we are about to have the House order the release of the Epstein files. Well, if the DOJ has an ongoing investigation, suddenly they can say, hey, we can't release all the files to you because there's information here that's part of an ongoing investigation, so we have to hold that back. So it's very worrisome that on the eve of these Epstein files being released by the DOJ, suddenly they have this investigation, which might mean that they can't release them. It's honestly also corrupt, and all of us are just wanting everyone to be investigated in all of this, or at the minimum, some transparency, which it seems like we're never going to get. Trump.
I mean, good video, but damn, yeah, it's fucking crazy. Although, I mean, listen, it's not good, but it's progress in that it, we said this a few months back, but this is the story that never goes away. It keeps coming. Despite him trying to bury it and say nothing's happening, it just keeps coming back up. A few people keep pushing, even like on the Republican side, Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's enough people and enough votes to keep this going, because I think there's more people, even in politics, who aren't connected with Epstein than are. And so slowly but surely, I feel like there is pressure to get this stuff released. My worry is that somehow it gets like destroyed or redacted or something. That's my biggest worry, is like actual evidence gets lost or destroyed before release. But I am kind of hopeful at the steady drumbeat of progress. What is this? New Epstein files show Representative Stacey Plaskett got real-time help via text messages from Jeffrey Epstein on how to hurt Trump. Like what? Like scrolling through. Rona? Cohen brought up Rona? Corona? Everyone had his number? Apparently, bro. He was popular. There's enough people who touch the evidence, you can't really destroy it. I bet someone will speak up. That's what you hope, right? That's why you assume it hasn't been destroyed yet, but it makes you worried. Definitely makes you worried. But yeah, I would like it to eventually get out. I do feel like there has been progress. They're going to release an old nail file set of Epstein's and say, what? You said he was grooming and here's the files to prove it. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my chat. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my chat. I wouldn't rule it out, though. They might try it. They're trying everything. They're throwing everything. They're throwing everything at the wall. I mean, when you really think about it, it's fucking crazy to say there was no list. There's no third party. He acted alone. Oh, wait, we're sorry. Except for these 6 prominent Democrats. Now that everyone is demanding the list get released, actually there was a list and it has only 6 people. Nobody more and nothing else. It's just, hey, Fistrom, thank you for the gifted. Were you on Trash Taste? No, I didn't go on Trash Taste. I was on the Trash Taste set. And Trash Taste, or Connor and Chris Broad came on the lemonade stand. Thank you for the gifties, Fistrom. I appreciate it. December ep? Yeah, it's December. It comes out in December. The Connor episode comes out on Christmas. We pre-recorded it for our Christmas release. The only problem is I talked about something that would be time sensitive. I talked in the episode about how they're re-releasing Vine, and I realized by the time that episode comes out, it's probably going to be dead again. Almost assuredly, this Vine re-release will last fucking 2 weeks. So it'll be a little bit of a time capsule. It'll be a big of a time capsule. At the end of the LS episode, they said they're going to keep the guest secret and you keep leaking it. Sue me, bro. Fucking sue me. Yeah. I like people to know the truth, okay? I don't want to hide things in files that need fucking decades to be released. I want to just tell people what's going on. Okay? Benjamin, thank you for the prime. Benjamin, thank you for the prime. Release the list is what I say. Release the fucking list. Is there anything else to this story? I mean, there's the Trump Bubba stuff, but most of that is memes we could look at. There's really nothing more than that one email. But it has been, people have been going hog wild on the memes. People have been going hog wild on the memes. Did you see this one? What's this? This one's pretty funny. Hillary Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, Donald Trump. They both hate Hillary. They both lost an election. They both were in love with Bill. They all blew Bill Clinton. Wow. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Bitcoin tanking is a bright light in this dark time. Well, there's a couple bright lights. MicroStrategy's doing poorly. Bitcoin down. We got the Steam Machine coming out. Streams are back. Lakers are doing well. Trump's polling's pretty poor. Gold's still up. Really liked your interview with Melody Wright. Hey, I wanted to say, if any of you watched the interview with Melody Wright about U.S. housing, I appreciate you. I thought that video, just because it was so long, would be a 10 out of 10. And I was totally fine to do that because it was interesting to me. But instead, that video got 300K views in a day. Did incredibly fucking well. And then Melody Wright reached out to me and said she's never had so many notifications on her Substack ever. I think she got her highest single day subs or whatever. And so she was stoked and the responses were good. And I'm trying to interview this guy, Mike Green, another Substack that I read. And she emailed him and put in a good word for me. So thank you. That's fucking sick. That's fucking sick. But look, this is what would actually happen, dude. Because Mike Green talks a lot about passive investing and 401ks and how they've inflated the market. I've done videos on it before, but it's based on his work. And the redemptions are up. People are taking hardship withdrawals from their 401k. which is a sign that that passive inflow might reverse. So I wanted to hear what Mike Green had to say. So I did a long shot. I was like, hey, can I interview you? And I mentioned Steve Eisman and Melody. Maybe she can vouch. And she responded and said, recommend H-Rock goes live on Twitch and has great reach with gamers and younger Americans. They need to hear your message. She gave the vouch. He said, DM me. I said, will do. But then he's not following me, so I can't DM him. And so I don't know what the fuck to do. So I told Melody, and she, in our DMs, and she sent him an email because she knows him. So that's networking, baby. So I think we'll get this figured out. Get verified? I'm not giving fucking Elon Musk a damn dollar. But anyway, I think that'll be a really good interview. We're also interviewing Graham Plattner this week. I had to reschedule it from today, but should be this week. And I'm very excited to interview him. And learn more about what's going on in Maine. Are you going to ask about the tattoo? Yeah, it's going to be my first question. I'm probably going to ask him straight up. Yeah, I'm probably going to ask him, listen, bro, I've heard a lot about the controversy, and I don't know if I can vote for you because I've heard you're a Redditor. And I can't fucking vote for a Redditor. So, yeah, we'll talk about it. I'm wondering what you're expecting from BLS statistics later this week. I thought the BLS is not releasing statistics. They didn't release the unemployment rate. But I thought it was also not releasing this month. Am I wrong? Or are they actually doing it? BLS was no release. The White House said the October jobs report would likely never publish, is now changing its tune and saying they will release it. It'll be partially released on... Oh, interesting. I don't trust these fucking numbers, bro. The reason they weren't going to release them is because they're fucking bad. So if they come out, I'm very worried they're going to be fucking massaged. Yeah, it's a very unreliable narrator, the White House. First time here. Are we right, left, or just against Trump? J-Reg brought me here. You misread this. We are one of the most pro-Trump streams on Twitch. Welcome to the channel. We are extremely pro-Trump. It's like most of my content. And we're about as MAGA as it gets. So welcome in. There's like two things we hate. People who don't stop talking about the damn Epstein hoax and Marjorie Taylor Brown. Okay? Who's a fucking rhino. Those are our main fucking enemies right now. And that's what I spend most of my time talking about. Please, some of them can't read your sarcasm. Oh no. Oh no. I might lose a viewer that can't read sarcasm. They're going to love my content. They're going to love it. Also, what sarcasm? I'm being dead serious. I'm gonna get a water real quick, and then I want to watch there's a new Almost Friday. That's obviously on the docket, but also there's a new How Money Works that sounds very interesting. How Money Works has been really up my alley lately. And also, I saved a video to watch with you of a Korean woman who drove 4 hours to eat Chili's in South Korea. So let me get a little water and I'll be all right back. Don't ever say it's over if I'm dreaming. Something that I'm feeling. Ba-na-na-na-na. Ready to go far, I'm star walking. I'm stuck in my head. I watched a lot of Faker fan cams when I was on fucking YouTube Shorts on the plane. Back from Japan. I watched like a lot of League of Legends content. And this song stuck in my head. What a banger, dude. Aatrox is top 3 millennials of all time. Who's fucking 2 and 3? Who's 2 and 3, bro? I don't know. Who the fuck? I don't even know who's in my category. Tony Hawk? Is Tony Hawk a millennial? Tony Hawk can't be a millennial. Tony Hawk's 57. Tony Hawk's not a goddamn millennial, bro. Tony Hawk Tua, maybe. Too young for a millennial. Hey, Big A, I missed you so much, and I apologize for missing the first half of the stream, but I was wondering if you talked about the Gen Z revolt in Mexico yet. I haven't talked about it, but I talked about it with Ari's family. Long story short, well, that's a tacky intro for a really serious subject. Let's be honest with you. There's this anti-crime mayor in Mexico who was murdered on Dia de los Muertos by the cartel. And he was like a beacon of hope, I guess, for young people. He was pretty young himself. And, he was out and in public and talking about fighting crime, and he was killed. And after he was killed, it caused some Gen Z in Mexico to snap, and they've been doing some protests, some Gen Z protests, much like in, Madagascar and Nepal and all over Asia. They're doing some pretty big protests to try to enact some kind of change because they're frustrated. So that's really the update. I don't have anything deeper than that, but obviously Ari's parents were pretty upset about it. People are saying it's psyoped or astroturfed. I think you have really suspect sources, man. I think you guys get your news from very strange places. There are some very genuine fucking protests, bro. People are very upset. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that too much more. I would like to talk about this fucking video from How Money Works. This one was, if we tax rich people, they will just leave. I think
any
making fun of that argument. And let's see.
time the idea of effective taxation is being discussed, there is one counter-argument that comes up more often than any other.
Record number of millionaires are expected to relocate internationally this year.
800,000 New Yorkers are prepared to leave the city.
An estimated 60. I don't know what he's going to say, but I'll already tell you this. From what I've seen, we talked about this on Lemonade Stand. It wasn't about the higher taxes in the UK. It was about the declining quality of life. It's like millionaires start fleeing once they've already sucked a place dry. Once the place becomes more dangerous and destitute, they just fucking move on. And it's not whether or not they're taxed. You know, there's like higher tax places where they'll still stay, like, you know, like a Norway, for example. But yeah, I think that is what I've understood. I'm not saying there's no limit to it, but
800,000 New Yorkers are prepared to leave the city.
An estimated 16,500 very rich people will leave this country this year.
Yeah, that's right. If we try to tax rich people, they are just going to leave, taking with them their money, their jobs, and their businesses. Ironically, if all the rich people leave, then we won't even get the taxes they were paying, which means that by trying to increase revenue, we might actually end up shrinking it. Capital flight or tax flight has become a massive focus around the world once again, particularly in the UK and now in the newly formed Socialist People's Republic of New York City, because they are at risk of losing the very individuals that shaped their economies into what they are today. Headlines have been flooded with high-profile people either leaving or threatening to leave these places and go somewhere more accommodating like Miami, Dubai, Singapore, or Switzerland. But the question is, would that actually be such a bad thing?
Can't decide whether to leave the state or the country.
It's time to move on and leave the state of California permanently, and we're going to go to Florida.
Making a big move, he's heading to Miami, or at least has been there for quite some time, and it comes with an added bonus.
Dude, the Jeff Bezos one is so funny because they asked him point blank, is this about taxes? And he's like, no, of course not. I just really want to be closer to my dad. Shut the fuck up, Jeff Bezos. You have 14 private planes and houses everywhere. You're obviously becoming a Miami resident so that when you sell 30 billion of Amazon stock, you're not paying the tax. It's what absurd. I can't believe they just let him get away with that answer.
State income tax.
Dom, we're talking about Elon Musk moving from California to Texas.
I'm leaving.
Okay, then. That was always allowed.
There's a theoretical concept in economics about the relationship between tax rates and actual tax revenue. If tax rates are very low, then naturally tax revenue will also be low because not many people are willingly going to send a check to the government. As rates increase, so does revenue, but only up to a point. Eventually, if you raise taxes any higher, it will actually result in lower overall revenue because business activity is disincentivized, or yes indeed, because people will move to somewhere else with lower taxes. Plotting out this relationship gives you what economists call the Laffer curve, named after Arthur Laffer, who popularized the idea during, well, you guessed it, the Reagan administration. Now, the idea itself is not inherently wrong, but it requires a lot of nuance, and without that, it's often used in really dumb ways to justify equally dumb fiscal policy. The first problem is mistaking exactly where on the graph most places exist. Pundits for lower taxes will say that we are on this side of the graph, which means that if only we lowered rates, it will stimulate more economic activity and actually result in higher total revenue, which can be used to fund government programs or pay down debt. It's a neat idea that you have probably heard a lot before, but it's not really backed up by most data. A 2017 study conducted on 27 OECD countries found that almost all of them were unsurprisingly on this side of the graph, where raising rates on top earners would simultaneously raise tax revenue. Out of all of the countries in the study, the biggest gap between the actual tax rate and revenue-maximizing tax rate was in Mexico, Slovakia, and the United States.
The big three!
Now, the reason why this gap was so big was more than just simply the fact that we don't tax as much as most of our European counterparts, but we will get to that soon. For now, despite what you may have been told, the analysis overwhelmingly suggests that we are indeed on this side of the curve. Now, in the interest of fairness, the second mistake that people make by trying to read these lines is assuming that the one and only goal of tax policy is to milk the maximum possible amount of money out of people. The revenue maximizing tax rate and the optimum tax rate are not always the same thing. Lowering rates can be a good way to give average households a budgetary reprieve, or higher taxes can be used on vices to try to stem their use. But the biggest mistake of all is the assumption that most rich people choose their home by sorting low to high on a global tax database, and they are ready to jump ship the second the bill arrives.
Yeah.
The reality is a lot more nuanced than that, to put it generously. The 2024 Global Wealth Report by UBS found that European countries with higher tax rates generally had a higher rate of wealth growth over the last 15 years, even after including high net worth immigration. Globally, the countries with the highest median wealth per capita all generally had very high and progressive rates of taxation on income and consumption. Closer to home, people have been threatening to leave places like New York for decades now. And yet, even after adjusting for inflation, their millionaire populations are higher than they have ever been before.
New Yorkers are going to flee. They're going to flee New York because of Zohran Mamdani.
To my liberal friends who keep saying, well, tax rates don't matter, then why is it, Sean, that everybody is leaving New York?
Don't you see what's happening even in New York City? They're running out of money. Why? Because the rich people are moving.
New York's population of millionaire earners, that has nearly doubled since 2010. There are 34,000 New Yorkers making at least $1 million more.
New York City is not even a particularly difficult place to not live in for tax purposes, because if you really wanted to, you could go and live in New Jersey and commute in every day. If you are particularly wealthy, you could do what a lot of hedge fund billionaires do and live in Miami and make sure not to spend more than 182 days a year in your New York holiday home. Extreme examples like this do happen, and they get a lot of attention from everybody when they do, because one side of the debate uses it to highlight how ultra-wealthy people dodge and skirt around laws so we should tax them more effectively, and the other side uses it to highlight how ultra-wealthy people dodge and skirt around laws so we shouldn't bother trying at all.
This is what Logan Paul does with Puerto Rico. Both the Paul brothers. They live in Puerto Rico a certain number of days a year to avoid taxes. But in fact, they don't even, my understanding is they don't even stay in Puerto Rico. They fly in, then take a boat out. So that on paper, they're still staying more days in Puerto Rico. But they're actually in America. And so when they boat back and then fly out, they can count the time between those two flights as a number of days in Puerto Rico. Which is pretty fucked.
But for all of the attention they get, they are rare. And overwhelmingly for most wealthy people, the business opportunities available in New York against the inconvenience and cost of commuting just make it worth paying the slightly higher taxes. Now, that would be the end of that, if only it wasn't for the curious cases of California and the United Kingdom. So it's time to learn how money works to find out if a max exodus of rich people is actually a problem. This video is sponsored by Brilliant, the interactive learning platform that helps you think more clearly. Premium subscription for unlimited daily access.
Brilliant.com is how money works.
Okay, so it wouldn't be fair to talk about rich people fleeing without talking about the UK. According to some estimates, the UK lost almost 10,000 high net worth individuals in the last calendar year to net outward migration. Now, some people have highlighted some structural problems with the Henley & Partners report on which this is based, and we will get into that.
Okay.
But overall, their methodology is at least somewhat consistent over time, and it does draw on expertise and collaboration from a wide range of industry professionals and global bodies. The point is, it shows that the UK was once a magnet for...
Again, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me the UK is losing a bunch of millionaires, but I would say it's probably not because of tax policy and probably more because the society is deeply dysfunctional now, and people, they can just go somewhere else after they've already extracted the benefit of that. That's more likely.
Global wealth, as people were attracted to its accommodating financial center and high-end amenities that catered almost exclusively to the ultra-wealthy. But over time, the country, and in particular the city of London, saw that these wealthy people were causing some problems. I made a video about this just 3 months ago, so I am not going to give you the whole spiel. But the cliff notes are, they drove up home prices, they turned the financial system into a laundry machine, and they didn't actually contribute that much to the economy relative to the concessions that were made to attract them. Yeah, sure, some global billionaires hired a lot of maids and service staff, but the average Brit probably wouldn't consider being a butler to Boer's war crime ski an ideal economic outcome.
Well,
now, to be fair, there were higher skilled roles like financial services that developed around these wealthy individuals as well. But a 2022 paper found that a majority of this work was done offshore anyway, providing questionable benefits to the country. As policies were introduced to curtail money laundering and actually get something out of all the wealth that was being parked in London, these wealthy individuals did indeed start leaving. The exact numbers are up for debate, but wealthy people are moving out, primarily to places like Dubai that are becoming what London was 10 years ago. A low-tax money laundry with some Gucci stores stapled on.
Wow.
So yeah, millionaire exoduses do happen, but London is more of the exception that proves the rule. When a country was filled up to begin with by people just looking for the best deal for them and their money, then of course those are the same kind of people to move on just as quickly when a better deal becomes available. Competing in a race to the bottom to be the lowest bidder for a few thousand wealthy individuals looking to pay back as little as possible is a losing proposition.
Yeah.
Even if you win, your prize is a collection of people with no local attachment who by definition don't want to contribute.
Yeah.
But even while all of this was happening, the number of millionaires in the UK actually increased. This homegrown wealth is also much less likely to leave because, well, it's their home. Most people, even those with extremely high incomes, aren't going to leave their home cities, social networks, families, customs, and way of life over some tax savings. And that's assuming that they
I feel like you have to be like 100 million plus to be like, I'll just live in private jet somewhere else around the world. Yeah, people have deep connection. Their business is deep. Everything's connected to where they live and grow. It's like a very elite class that could just jump countries.
Would. On a small scale, we saw this play out over the last 5 years between California and Texas.
Or I guess someone who's just like, really lonely and made some money on crypto. I guess if you're just in your room and you made a fucking 2 million on crypto or whatever, I guess you could jump around. That would also.
Moving between states is easier than moving between countries. This enabled a lot of remote workers and entire businesses to shift from expensive, high-tax cities in California.
No, Aiden's the exception, bro. Everybody makes fun of Aiden. I make fun of Aiden, but he did his research. He really wants to move. He's doing it the right way. Boring ass Aiden, bro. But he's doing it. I'm just sad. We were talking, bro. Me and Aiden did a lot of talking on this trip. I'm gonna miss him. I'll say it. I'm gonna miss Aiden. It's gonna be sad. He's gonna move to Sweden. I like hanging out with Aiden. He's my dog. It's sad. We're not gonna end LS. Honestly, we're gonna do more travel apps, probably like we did in Japan, but we're still gonna do the show. We're not gonna end it. And he's not leaving for another fucking year and a half, 2 years, honestly. So I'm sure it won't even last that long. Who knows? But I'm just gonna miss him in LA. He's fun to hang out with. Because here's the thing. I love LA. I know it sounds fucking crazy and nobody believes me, but I do. I like the Lakers. I like the weather. I like everything about LA except for the traffic and the fucking. I like LA. I like it's closest to Mexico, so I can see your family. I like it's closest to Arizona, so I can see my family. I like it, but most people don't like it, and I don't blame them because it's trafficy and smoggy and expensive. So I know in my heart that if I flash forward 5 years, all my friends in LA will slowly but surely settle down somewhere else. Like they're all going to do it, and it's sad. It makes me sad.
California to more business-friendly, cheaper, and lower-tax states like Texas. But as people were forced back into offices and the AI bubble started blowing back towards a proven...
Someone in chat said, "You always have us." Oh, good. Oh, all my real-life friends move away? No worries. I've always got you. Wow. Never thought about it like that.
Tech hub, places like Austin are facing serious shocks in their housing market, which had boomed on the expectation that these temperamental tech workers would keep on coming forever. The channel Upton did a great on-the-ground video on this a few months ago, so I will leave a link to that in the description. A lot of wealth in an area is tied to that area itself, and even more comes from its institutions. In that 2017 study on the Laffer curve, America had the highest revenue maximizing tax rate out of all OECD countries because we have so many domestic industries that generate enormous fortunes. A wealthy American could renounce their citizenship and move overseas for lower taxes or more accommodating regulations. But almost nobody does it, because having unfettered access to Silicon Valley, Wall Street, American real estate, or a financial system is worth more to most wealthy people than some tax savings. The study's method found that we could set top marginal tax rates as high as 76%, and most people would just have to suck it up and pay it, because leaving would...
it's not like it's crazy. We've already done it. We did it before. We did it before, and it was remarkably successful. It wasn't crazy. It was so doable. It's just not, it's not even, it's in living memory of so many people in America. And it was during one of the most prosperous times in America where the wealth was broadly, we had a strong, thriving middle class, one of the greatest middle classes in human history, maybe the greatest middle class in human history. So it's just frustrating.
Have a higher opportunity cost. This study wasn't suggesting that we should do that, but it was suggesting that the idea that raising taxes would lower revenue wasn't grounded in reality. Now, even with all this, it's important to acknowledge that as people get wealthier, setting up a life in a new country and moving wealth around the globe does become easier. These people are also naturally more high profile than your average run-of-the-mill high net worth individual, so they do get more attention. But in terms of general economic activity, job creation, and entrepreneurship, it's much better to have 1,000 extra millionaires than one single billionaire. And this is what we have overwhelmingly seen in major centers where the wealth exodus is getting the most attention. There is a chart that really puts this whole discussion into perspective, because it highlights just how much of a big deal wealthy people threatening to leave their home country really is. It's right here. This is the total migration rate of dollar millionaires amongst all of the countries seeing the biggest outflows. And no, this isn't me screwing up my graphs again.
Okay.
The report that compiled these numbers generously said that reported numbers of millionaires migrating in 2024 represented approximately 0% of millionaires at global and national levels. The UBS Global Wealth Data Book estimates that there are about 60 million millionaires in the world today. A few thousand of them finding a new home is not statistically significant.
What the fuck who cares?
This is also including wealthy people that just happen to move to countries for reasons other than saving on tax, like avoiding conflicts, political instability, or just moving to a nice place for retirement. But all right.
Aiden,
Let's say
moving to
for the sake
Sweden.
of argument that there was some kind of change that actually did scare away a lot of wealthy people. Would that actually be a problem? Well, yes. And places like South Africa, Lebanon, Venezuela, and Russia have over several years seen this kind of capital flight. But it wasn't wealthy people leaving that destabilized these countries. It was the instability that caused the wealthy people to leave.
Exactly.
Even if we ignore correlation and causation for a second,
it's
several studies, including some from Nobel Prize winners, have been done on the impact of these people immigrating. What they have found is that overwhelmingly, the biggest loss is the expertise of skilled workers rather than the money of a few wealthy investors. Losing a handful of doctors, engineers, lawyers, and institutional managers hurts a lot more than losing some cash. Money can be printed, and infrastructure can't be taken away in a suitcase, but human capital is both mobile and very hard to replace. Under normal circumstances, these people are far less likely to move away from their home, since qualifications like medical degrees are not always transferable. So yes, this could be a problem if your definition of wealthy person includes high-end skilled professionals rather than just exclusively independently wealthy asset owners. Fortunately, the best way to get these people to stick around is to just make sure that institutions are well run and that people feel comfortable in their home. Anyway, go and watch this video next to find out why it seems that everything from wealth to rhetoric.
I mean, I like this video. I agree. It's just, I think we just need to keep hammering home that it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. It's been done. It worked. It's effective. We already have a massive fucking deficit. It would just be a good idea. It would just be a good fucking idea. This sounds really woke. As a true MAGA patriot, you can't support it. No, I'm sorry. I didn't specify. I'm saying tax the fucking woke. Tax the libs. I'm not tax MAGA. Obviously. Obviously, you'd have to fucking give your opinions on certain things. And then I would know whether or not to tax you. It would be a woke tax. I'm gonna tax JP Morgan and I'm gonna tax Chase. I'm gonna tax them both, okay? And you won't be able to fucking stop me. Start walking. What about this video about Costco? How a single Costco changes its local economy?
There are currently...
Wait, it looks like this. How a single Costco changes its local economy.
There are currently 914 Costco locations worldwide.
Costco's just a really interesting business, man. I think I've told this story before, but I remember reading an investment analysis by one of these, maybe it's a small hedge fund or something, but it was them explaining why they were investing in Costco. And it's an old PDF. I read this well after it came out, and it's from like 20 years ago. And they just explained point by point what Costco was about to do, and then Costco did it. And over the past 20 years has been like one of the single greatest compounding returns of any company ever. And it's basically because Costco maintains like a 14% profit margin. And so everything they make in surplus of that basically goes back to making the customer experience better. So as they grow, part of that value gets redistributed to the customers, or like they pay the employees better or whatever. And so it's kind of win-win, mutually beneficial. Like they get to earn more money and then everyone gets to benefit. And so it's been, like it's just wild because like most companies, as they get bigger and scale up, customer satisfaction kind of sags, it goes down. But with Costco, it's actually been the reverse. So it's like this beautiful flywheel. And now when they open a new area, people like have fucking lines around the block. Like people are so demanding for Costco's. They really enjoy the convenience and value it provide. I mean, it's like a pretty successful business. So, I just thought that was a really wild thesis. Like it was smart investment, and they made money investing in it too. Like it was kind of a win-win-win. So no, I wanted to see. Maybe there's a downside though. This could ruin the local economy or something.
They have opened warehouses in 14 countries, and within North America, there's usually at least one store within every major metropolitan area, and each one of them has changed the economy directly surrounding it in some unintuitive ways. Their busiest location, by far, is probably not where you would expect it. It's actually down here, just on the outskirts of Honolulu in Hawaii. Despite being only the 56th largest city in America and having 3 other Costco locations within an hour's drive, there is a good reason why this particular location does so much business. And that will all start to make sense as you unpack Costco's unique approach to local economy.
My parents have been to this Costco because I remember my mom and dad went on vacation to Hawaii for it was like their big vacation. It was like 3 weeks in Hawaii or whatever. They got one of those long-term stay Hilton Airbnb kind of things. And he's like, my dad's like, the food's too expensive in Hawaii. So they went to the Costco and they bought enough food for 3 weeks. And they made all the food in the hotel which is like, I mean, that's smart, but it's also like, well, what's the point of the vacation if you're just going to eat Costco the whole time? I don't know. Maybe I'm too bougie. But that was my dad's vibe. Oh, it's too loud? I'll turn it down.
Economics. While the company doesn't release any official data on individual stores, the best estimate that can be made from their public financials is that this location alone did almost $500 million in sales within the last financial year. By revenue, this would make this one single store larger than most public companies. For comparison, that's more money going through these registers than the global operations of Denny's and Smith & Wesson. Now, apart from being possibly the most American sentence I've ever spoken, it highlights—
It actually is crazy to think that one Costco does more revenue than all Denny's combined. One Costco in Hawaii. That actually is pretty crazy.
It's how these retail hubs can become a massive influence on a local economy. easily on par with other major employers like factories or mines. But then the question becomes, is that influence for the best? There's a well-studied phenomenon that occurs when a big box retailer like a Walmart opens within a local area. Because of their huge economies of scale and unassailable pricing power, they force out smaller local competitors. The rate of business closures materially increases on blocks surrounding a new Walmart location, and when they become the only employer in town, it also pushes local wages down. This process is seen so consistently that economists have simply dubbed it the Walmart effect. Now, you might look at a Costco and see another large, low-priced, big-box retailers and reasonably conclude that their effect would be exactly the same, right? Yes, of course, Costco requires a membership, but at their heart, they are both large variety retail operations that compete by offering lower prices than their competitors. However, despite these surface-level similarities, the recorded effect of a Costco opening is almost exactly the opposite. In 2023, Costco opened its 851st location in Gunma Prefecture, about an hour's drive outside of Tokyo. This area had not been immune to Japan's wider economic stagnation. Wages were suppressed and local businesses were running on razor-thin margins. Despite being close to the largest city in the world, Gunma primarily consisted of small farms, run-down warehouses, and local retailers serving local, cost-conscious customers. But everything changed when the local Costco was built. When the company went and plonked a massive superstore right in the middle of what was a rice field, it radically reshaped the area.
Dude, it is such a beautiful thing that we can do as America to export these gigantic parking lots. Forget the Costco. I'm just glad that Japan gets to experience what a giant fucking parking lot feels like. It's calming for the soul. It's just to just drive around a big, endless parking lot makes you feel at peace. It feels like you feel at home. It's a cultural exchange, dude. We get One Piece weebs and they get a Costco parking lot. I feel like we lost that trade.
The first thing to change were local wages. Unlike the infamous Walmart effect, Costco pays even its entry-level floor staff very well. In Japan, these generous salaries were a big departure from most employers who hadn't given broad pay rises since the 1990s.
Dude, they don't give any
In
pay
Gunma,
rises.
people could work for the equivalent of $6.50 US an hour.
And it's starting to be a real fucking problem in Japan because they don't give pay raises, which was fine when they had no inflation for a couple decades. But now that prices are going up, it's becoming very apparent that you have to give wage increases. People are getting fucking pissed. It's the root of all the discontent in Japan right now. I swear to God, dude. It's just, it is the yen is weaker and weaker, and the prices are going up, and they are not keeping up. And everything else is people lashing out because of that.
In local stores, farms, or warehouses. Or they could get a job at Costco, which was offering a starting salary of $10 an hour. For most locals, the choice was pretty clear, which forced surrounding businesses to raise wages to keep their staff. Within the first 3 months following the opening,
it's either that or it's the foreigner kicking the deer. I'm not sure. It's one of the two. Either the poor deer are getting fucking belt to ass beaten up by the foreigners, or it is the meager wage increases paired with the weakening currency.
Of Costco, local businesses reported paying their staff 40% more than they had before. Now, you might have expected that this would strain these small businesses that were already struggling to keep the lights on, but again, the opposite was true. Most of them saw a significant increase in foot traffic and revenues after the center opened. Unlike a Walmart or other similar retailers, Costco stores become a destination, attracting shoppers from a much wider area rather than just serving the community that was already there. A trip to Costco is something that average shoppers plan for in advance and don't do nearly as frequently as going to a regular retailer, and that's reflected in the data. The market research firm Numerator found that Costco shoppers went to the store half as often as Walmart shoppers, but when they were there, they spent more than twice as much on average.
Yeah.
This data also self-selects for the fact that Costco shoppers need to pay a membership, and a lot of them will also shop at a Walmart or similar local alternative for their day-to-day needs. What this all means is that for an out-of-the-way town like Gunma in Japan, a Costco acted like a magnet, attracting people from more populated areas to come and do their shopping. Once they'd driven more than an hour from their home to get there, some of these customers were more motivated to make a day out of it by grabbing lunch at a local restaurant, assuming they didn't feel like a 200 yen glizzy in the Costco cafeteria. Now, this particular example was in Japan.
Holy shit, he said glizzy! Pause for effect! Wait a minute! A 200 yen glizzy? Even I'm tempted, and I famously don't like glizzies.
But across the world, the same effects are routinely witnessed.
I mean, just to pause here. This is really cool to see. Again, my guesstimation would have been that the downside of a Costco is that it's almost too efficient and that it causes damage to surrounding local businesses because it just outcompetes them. But the idea that it draws in so much capital from wider areas that it actually enlivens the local market is pretty cool. That's cool. I mean, Costco's a great business. It's nice to see.
A Costco raises the floor on wages, but it makes up for it by bringing in more customers to an area. Now, especially in lower income areas, a new Costco also lets local businesses do something else that's just as important as it is unintuitive. It lets them raise prices. Now, I promise I'll explain how that can be a good thing, but to do that, we also need to address a bigger question. A company can't run off good vibes and helping out the little guy because it's a nice thing to do. So, what's in all of this for Costco and their shareholders? It's not just Costco that gets your data when you sign up for a membership. Hundreds of companies.
What? Incogni? Incogni is what they get out of it?
It's easy to anthropomorphize businesses and conclude that one has a nicer intention than the other. But the reality is that all public companies are beholden to their shareholders, who want to see maximized returns. The difference only comes from how they achieve that goal. Costco has cultivated a very good reputation with its employees and customers thanks to the way it's approached the market. In what limited public relations they do, the company is always quick to highlight their simple 4-point code of ethics. Obey the law, take care of our members, take care of our employees, and respect our suppliers.
Simple.
It sounds reasonable enough, but here's the thing. Almost every large public-facing company in the world has something similar. Here's Walmart's, here's Tesco's, here's Lockheed Martin's, and here is, or was, Enron's. These are basically always just standard issue corporate wank to give new hires something to read on their first day in the office.
Enron?
But Costco might actually be slightly different because of one line that most people would probably ignore. If we obey the law, take care of members, employees, and suppliers, then we will achieve our ultimate goal, which is to reward our shareholders. Credit where credit's due, they are being honest that the only reason they are not openly breaking the law is because it's just bad for business. By that same logic, they aren't building up local economies and wasting billions of dollars on higher staff salaries every year for the warm fuzzies. They're doing it because it's good business. They are doing it to achieve their ultimate goal of rewarding their shareholders. Higher wages are—
I wonder if it has to do with the way they compensate executives or something. It really just comes down to like they're so much better at building for the long term instead of maximizing for the short-term quarterly bonus. It's just and I wonder why their executives haven't succumbed to temptations that others have to enshitify for short-term gain, knowing that they'll be gone.
Are a calculated choice which works in their business for 3 reasons. The first is that it does give them a bit of good PR. The brand perception of Costco is very valuable, and it helps to keep their members renewing every year. When it comes time to pay that annual fee again, a lot of people won't mind if they think they're supporting a business that supports their people. Doing whatever they can to maintain memberships is critically important because the rest of the business effectively breaks even after accounting for their self-inflicted low margins and higher than average expenses. But beyond that, competitive wages are a calculated decision to cut down on staff turnover, and all you need to see this is to look at it both ways. On one hand, they pay their staff well above industry standard rates for a job that doesn't require a college degree. But on the other hand, their staff won't be able to find another job that pays as well unless they get a college degree. This means Costco is effectively buying staff loyalty, which for them has been a very good purchase. Hiring and training new staff to work across their stores takes a lot of time and it's not cheap. The industry standard churn rate for retail employees in big box stores is 60%, which means if 100 people start at the beginning of the year, only 40 of them will be left.
Dude, I think the churn rate for Amazon warehouses was like, I think it's like 89, 92% or something. I think it's like literally almost every single person who tries it, it was over 150, 120. Let me see. I remember it was being absurdly high, but I don't remember what it was. Amazon warehouse job churn rate. I'm sorry, it's 150% annually. What? I don't even fully understand that. That's crazy. That's crazy. They burn through 2.25 million employees a year. How is it higher than 100%? Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Is that people quitting, rejoining, then quitting again? Or is that all your staff quits, half the replacements quit? I guess seasonal hires. That's crazy.
At the end. At Costco, by comparison, that churn rate is only 5.5%, saving them more on training and hiring expenses than they lose through those higher wages. But then, if just paying a good wage actually saves the business money, why don't the other big retailers do the same? Well, a report by the Harvard Business Review actually looked into that exact question, and they found that it only really worked for certain business models. Walmart, by comparison, runs on a churn and burn model that goes all the way up to the store level. Costco rarely, if ever, shuts down a store once it's established, and in the rare instances where they do, it's usually only because they've moved to a bigger location in the same area that'll be operated by the same staff members. Walmart, by comparison, closes down stores all the time, and the roles that the team members play are more compartmentalized and easier to replace. There's also a greater promise of career progression. Walmart has more than 7 times as many stores, which means 7 times as many management positions up for grabs. Those management roles pay extremely well, and for some people it makes slugging it out in a minimum wage job worth it to justify the opportunity to climb up the ladder. Costco, by comparison, doesn't pay its management staff as competitively, and there are just naturally fewer positions on offer anyway because they run fewer locations.
Right.
This means Costco needs to keep its staff satisfied with the job they have rather than one they could potentially get. Now, whatever the business reasoning, the effect on the local economy is still the same. A lot of people earning a good wage has a lot more of an impact than 2 or 3 people earning an astronomical wage.
That can't be right.
But again, for Costco,
that can't be right, or we would have structured our economy differently. What you're saying wouldn't make any sense. Otherwise, why would Elon Musk have $1 trillion pay package? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense to me.
This is all part of the plan. Costco is not in competition with local business. In fact, it relies on them. A large portion of their overall revenue is driven by those same businesses stocking up on their own supplies. Costco blurs the line between a wholesale outlet and a retail store, which is ideal for small hospitality businesses in particular who may not have the scale to order in bulk directly from suppliers. This symbiotic relationship is further supported by another big misconception about the business. Costco is famous for having an extensive variety of products on offer,
oh my God,
from gold bars and fine
gold bars, glizzies, and what was the other thing? And Enron? Every 5 minutes, I'm getting a fucking dopamine rush.
Jewelry to coffins and your annual supply of loo roll. It seems like you really can buy anything from these stores. However, Costco actually offers far fewer individual items than other big box retailers. Walmart manages over 100,000 different stock keeping units. Amazon manages 600 million, while Costco only maintains around 4,000. One of the reasons for this is that while something like a jar of Nutella might be offered in several different sizes at a regular grocery store, at Costco you're getting it in a one-size-fits-all bucket or you're not getting it at all. This leaves an opportunity for local businesses to fill in niche markets, often by breaking up and selling the same items they purchased from Costco warehouses. A 2019 study published by the University of Massachusetts and the National Bureau of Economic Analysis found that after a Costco opened in a local area, prices at local businesses rose, but the reason why this was happening was because the Costco allowed them to move into higher margin products. People coming into the area on a shopping trip, in addition to the staff earning good wages, stimulated local demand, and more importantly, there wasn't the same need to supply budget items to cost-conscious consumers. If people needed groceries, they would go to Costco, but if they wanted something more unique, they would still need to patron local businesses. In plain English, prices rise, but buyer power is maintained because people have more money and a cost-effective supply of the essentials. It's almost like Costco.
So based on the logic of this video, we should open up a Costco every 3 square miles across the entire United States and we'll fix our economy. If we just, every Costco, you should be able to see another Costco in every direction you look. And then Taylor Swift performs in each Costco as she travels. And we get infinite GDP. And it's a new third place. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. And when you're traveling between the Costcos, we'll have little Steam Decks set up that you can play Gabe Newell's latest releases on. We've solved it. We've solved it. We've solved it. We've solved it.
Costco is gentrifying an area in the best way possible. Back in Hawaii, this effect is particularly strong. Due to the logistical challenges of getting consumer staples shipped into the middle of the Pacific Ocean, a bulk supplier like Costco has become a linchpin for both consumers and small businesses. Prices are still much higher here than they are on the mainland, but they are significantly better than dozens of individual businesses trying to organize their own shipping. In its own weird way, the world's busiest Costco has also become a tourist destination in its own right. Most big box retailers can't get people to travel more than 15 minutes to do their shopping without it being too inconvenient. Costco can get people to travel across half an ocean. It's all the result of a business plan made to maximize shareholder value just like any other, but has been undeniably effective. However, for all its successes, it's still not as large or dominant as Walmart, a company that has been the counterpoint to everything that made Costco successful. Watch this video next to find out how they did everything differently and still became one of the most powerful private economic entities in the world.
Walmart. Even better. Evil twins. Costco in South Korea is incredible. Dude, Costco in any other country, they get these insane lines. People love it. People love it. And it's cool. They pay employees well. Does well. I mean, as long as they keep the glizzies cheap. Proud HEB supporter from Texas. I've never been to an HEB. What's special about HEB? Texas's favorite grocery store. A privately owned grocery store. I'll tell you one store that I always dogged on that I actually tried was, what's it called? It's like the camera store in New York or on the East Coast. How am I not remembering it? You guys will know it. It's B&H. B&H, dude. Or is it B&H or B&E? B&H? Yeah, B&H, dude. It was incredible. It had everything you could possibly want, and all the employees were really nice. I was very impressed. It made Best Buy look like a fucking sack of shit. Straight up. Best Buy is a sack. Yeah, well. The only problem with B&H is they shut down like fucking noon on Friday. They were available, I think. All right, chat. I'm going to call it there. I am back today. I will be live tomorrow, perhaps with a interview with, let's do Almost Friday. Let's end on Almost Friday. Let's end on a goofy one. Almost Friday TV. That'll be funny. When your dad needs help in the garage. This seems funny. And we'll watch this. And then we'll be out. But I'm back tomorrow, keeping it going. Very fun stream today. Good talking to you. Glad to be back in America, on American soil. Kissed the ground when I landed. Looked at the 405, breathing the smog. Finally happy to be in a car instead of a goddamn train. Let's see. Your dad needs help.
Hand me another nail. This is a screw. Hand me another nail.
I'm already laughing.
Can I go back inside? No, we just started.
My dad wasn't really like this. My dad was a hard ass. We fought a lot when I was growing up. But my dad wasn't like forcing me to do handyman stuff. But there was a guy, one of my dad's friends and our neighbor. His name was Rick. And he was just like this. And he was such an asshole. And like, I'm not his kid, but he would always yell at me like I was his kid. And he would tell me like, because my dad, I remember he deployed. So this guy, Rick, was basically, he like helped, like his son was in Boy Scouts and I was in Boy Scouts. So he was like my surrogate dad for Boy Scouts when my dad was deployed. And he was an asshole. And he talked like this. This reminds me of Rick, dude.
Pass me the flathead screwdriver.
This one?
Does that have a flathead?
I don't know.
Unbelievable! My God! This one, it's got a flathead on it. That's why they call it a flathead screwdriver. God, I wish you knew more about it.
I mean, this is like flashbacks. He did like this. And then someone said, I bet he fucked at the Pinewood Derby. He did. That's what I remember specifically, was when we had to build my fucking Pinewood Derby car, and he was such an asshole, but we did win. He was like, I don't know how to build this fucking thing, Rick. You're not my dad. He had a mama mentality for a fucking 8-year-old Pinewood Derby.
Tools.
Sorry. What are you even building?
Something important. Pass me the socket wrench.
Someone said, I got investigated for illegal weight in Pinewood Derby. Caught? Yeah, I did it. Bro, you fucking cheated in Pinewood Derby with illegal weight? That's so crazy. Riding dirty in the Pinewood Derby, bro. So did you. I bet you just didn't know it. Oh, I'm quite sure Rick fucking cheated, bro. But I didn't know it because I'm terrible at building it. Because Rick was so goddamn competitive, I'm quite sure he fucking put a weight in there. But he was, he probably would have done it on the inside. Because we did crush, so there's no reason none of the work I did should make that zoom down the track like that.
Hand me the socket wrench. Pass me the socket wrench. Pass me the socket wrench.
I don't know what a socket wrench is.
Hand me the socket wrench.
Can you point out which one a socket wrench is?
Hand me the fucking socket wrench. Socket wrench. Socket wrench. The socket wrench. When I open my eyes, they're gonna hand me the socket wrench. Hand me the socket wrench. God damn it! Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
You don't have to yell.
I do have to yell. If I don't yell, nothing gets done around here. Nobody listens to me. So unfortunately, yes, I do.
Maisie said, "This is how I feel helping Linkus." Wait, which one are you? Which one's Linkus? Are you this guy, or is that Linkus? I can't imagine either one of you yelling for the socket wrench. Wait, in what context is this happening? With tools, I'm the kid. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Do have to yell. Fuck, man.
No wonder why mom's leaving you.
Your mother's not leaving me. Not after she sees this. Okay, we're done. Go turn off the lights.